Yeah, I can't really whistle. I suck in. I can't blow out and whistle. And I don't really know why. Everybody else in my family can. Why can't I do it? But I digress. I cannot. So, hi, Christian.
Hi.
I'm glad you made it tonight.
Thank you. I'm glad I am too.
Not sure if I'm glad about Swede being here with you, but we'll see how it goes. Swede, thanks for coming by. How you doing?
Christian and I have this specter bond relationship.
You know, I'm not sure I'd characterize it that way. I'm not sure that's where my mind goes when I think of our rapport to this point. Swede, you know.
More of John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell in Step Brothers.
You know, that's probably more accurate.
Yeah, it's really close. But at the end of it, they loved each other, so it's okay.
Yeah, usually we hate each other at the beginning of every stream, and by the end of it, we're just like playing off of each other with jokes. So.
Right. No, that's great. I love being able to give a good ribbon with somebody. You know, I like being able to fuck around with people and everybody, nobody cries and whines and they know it's a joke. And so everybody in the chat, which is Santi and Ox and Rachel, I believe. I think that's it.
I think
all
the most
three of you?
important thing about the way friends interact is everyone has to be in on the joke.
Yeah, people get offended if they're not in on the joke.
Well, when somebody isn't in on the joke and they're the focus of it, then it becomes, then it gets away from good-natured ribbing. And it just becomes insulting.
Yeah, if they don't understand it, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, Rachel, spelling doesn't count in side chats. So, yeah, it's all good. You don't have to...
Yeah,
you don't have to correct anything. We'll read between the lines. We're all good at it. We're all on Twitter, so, People write weird. I swear. Like, I can't do it. Usually, if I write something, it's always going to have the right punctuation. The grammar's good. Sometimes I play around, but anytime, the rest of the time, I can't do it. I just can't do all those, slangs and BRB and LOL and I don't know. And all the rest of them. Yes, Rachel, we can all read dipshit. So who's the dipshit? Because I know it's not you. And I'll wait for that answer. Thanks. So anyways, so I got something to say tonight. Let's talk about history for a second. Let's talk about how Christians have always touted they have better morals than atheists. And atheists have always touted that Christians are stupid and full of shit and they judge everybody and they should be more kind and forgiving and all this shit. If you're a Christian according to the Bible, you should be this. We're like this. We all have morals and we're atheists. We still have morals. But I keep seeing throughout the community people slapping each other in the faces and not getting each other's backs. And I'm very frustrated with it because it also happened to me. And about 5 or 6 other people I know, at least, recently. And I'm very disappointed in our community. Now, I will have to say the small group of people that hang out around me, I've never had any beef with anybody that's currently here and has been recently and not like a couple weeks ago. But anyways, so I've never really had any beef with anybody, and I try to get along with everybody. And I feel like in our smaller community over here, not the whole big one on Twitter, but the YouTube community we have, that we all do get each other's backs and we do all take care of each other. But man, outside of our little group, it's just bad, man. It's ridiculous. People are treating each other like shit, and I just don't even. How can you sit there and say you're morally sound without God when you're not morally sound? So what are you doing? Just proving them right? proving the Christians right for us, or what? You know. So I don't know.
Maybe that's their goal.
I'm just irritated. So I just want to speak out about it and say, you guys aren't going to take care of each other. Don't come around my fucking show because I don't want anything to do with any of you. Fuck you all. That's all.
I think you don't owe anybody anything.
And you don't choose mine. Your mistake.
I think the proper stance to take is you don't owe anybody anything, and if they don't abide by the standards that you have set for the people you want around you, then they don't need to be there.
Yes. Thank you for being more educated in the explanation of that than what I'm mad right now, so I'm just having trouble articulating.
We were having this conversation last night on Mikey's channel about how with the Bin podcast and everything, he's like, we have to be very careful because we want to upkeep the name on the brand and the reputation. So we have to be very careful about who we allow on because we don't want somebody who's recently been okay, but has a really checkered past, or maybe something has come up recently that we don't know about, or something along those lines. And we don't want to platform a shitty person. To which I said, if you would have known me 4 years ago, I wouldn't be here.
I mean, good point. That is the point, though. Like, we all go through shit, and we all have bad moments in our lives.
I was an Ayn Rand.
The best of us grow from that, and we change, and we learn, and we move on. And these people are like, you can't hold something against. Like, that would be holding it against me, because when I was 10 years old. No, wait a minute. I was 12 years old. Me and my buddy stole some beer out of a convenience store twice. So, you know what? Everybody just persecute me. That's it. I'm a piece of shit. Everybody leave my stream and get out of here because that's ridiculous. You can't hold shit against people.
Did you ever go back and pay him for the beer he stole?
No. We moved away from there. Huh?
Then you're just as bad as him.
No, that's not true. You missed the first part of the conversation. Just hang on. You'll catch up in a second.
I'm just trying to smart off.
I know. And I love you for it. I'm just I'm ready to choke some people out. So what I was discussing, Jenny, is how atheists walk around and say, these Christians are wrong and they're stupid and we're morally sound. We don't need God and we're better than you and blah, 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 blah. But then there's people in the community treating other people like shit.
Uh-huh.
So what the fuck?
Aren't humans fun?
So either you're a dick and I don't have time for you and leave me alone, or damn, did you ever just totally lost everything that quick?
I think people see what they want to see when it comes to people who they're associated with. It doesn't oftentimes matter the totality of the situation or the individual circumstances. People really care most about what they want to believe about somebody, as opposed to what the actual evidence suggests. And atheists are not immune from bad reason. They're not immune from having bad epistemology sets.
No, all my point is if you're going to be like that, quit preaching to everybody about how fucking morally sound you are and how morally just you are. Morally. I don't want to fucking hear it.
No, I totally agree with you on that. It's that's why I don't moralize, because I've done my fair share of things that have been wrong in the past.
Yeah, we all have. We've all done stupid shit. It's part of growing and learning and figuring out who we are as people and adults. It's a big transition from teenager to adult. It's a whole different fucking world. And we start trying to figure ourselves out, and it's part of the process. We all do stupid shit. And it's fine. I don't think there's anybody I know that when they were younger didn't do something fucking stupid. Everybody in the chat, tell me one thing you did stupid when you were a kid.
No way.
Under the age of 20, and it doesn't have to be like, anything too crazy. The point is that we've all done shit. Go ahead, Jenny.
I'm not going to tell you nothing. It was too stupid to tell anybody.
You what?
It was too stupid. I don't want anybody to know.
Oh, well, you don't have to say anything. That's why I said nobody. Ox said he kicked a cop in the nuts. See, that's not very smart. He wouldn't do it now. Well, plus they'd shoot you now, so don't ever do that again.
Well, it depends. Is Ox white? Because if he's white, then the cop would probably like it.
No, he's Native American. That's why I said don't do it.
Yeah.
Yes, I was 22, still paying for it to this day. Yes, and you will. And you will, and you learn shit. You learn some shit about yourself and the world. And that's fine. That's things like that aren't mistakes, they're lessons. As long as you learn from it and you improve yourself because of it, it was a mistake, it was a lesson. Now if you do it again, it was a mistake and you're a dumbass. But the first time is, and of course I'm not talking about like rape and murder and shit, but lessers, it's a lot of learning. Oh, Ox said I'm native in a white body.
This conversation is hitting a little too close to home right now for me to talk about it, so I'm just gonna
okay, well let's change the subject then. It's fine.
No, it's just the more that I listen to you, the more I just get upset as far as that conversation goes.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Like I said, it's nothing in particular.
Yeah.
That it's not like your message isn't good. Your message is fantastic. It's just the double standard.
Yeah.
I think
the white privilege that people like me enjoy.
I just think it's interesting how people of color are sometimes expected to be perfect, and the second that their standards aren't met, they're considered shifty or untrustworthy, or they're not one of the good ones anymore.
Well, usually that if someone's going to judge like that, they made that judgment way before they ever said that. They were just waiting for something.
Right. They were, and I think I just, and there's a lot of people who I think are phenomenal people that fall victim to some of these unconscious biases of, having some of that internalized racism and having some of that internalized bigotry. And it sort of comes out in outgrowths, even when they are a progressive person, generally.
Right.
So it's, no one is immune from the things that happen in our unconscious mind. And we make decisions a lot of times based on what that informs us to do.
Speaking of that, Christian, I'll tell you something. And most people that have talked to me about this topic know it, but I don't think you do. So I'm going to tell you. My father was racist. And my father was racist to the point of if you weren't rich and white, that you had to be those two things. Everybody else was some kind of racial slur. That's just how he was. My mom was exactly the opposite. She loved everybody and she cared for everybody and she'd do anything for anybody until they did her wrong, and then she would just walk away from them. That was it. That's how she was. And she just loved everybody. So I had this conflicting thing. And then I got a little older and realized, oh, my dad's a dick and my mom's right. I realized that by the time I was 6 years old. I fully realized that everything coming out of his mouth was bullshit. To this day, shit still runs through my subconscious that he said. Because I was below 6 years old, and when you say shit in front of kids when they're that young, they absorb it. They absorb it as fact. Because you're their parents. You're teaching them. You're their teachers. They look up to you. So if you say something, it's going to be true. So to this day in my head, I have little oh my God, I can't believe my dad used to say that. Why did that just go through my head? Holy fuck. And then I beat myself up about it for days and days. And now this has lessened over the years. But here I am almost 50 years old, and I'm just getting to the point where it's almost totally gone out of my head. That's how influential it is.
I used to be that way. Because I grew up in a household like that.
See? Kids learn what they live.
I learned from a young age. I was indoctrinated. I didn't learn this. I was indoctrinated to think that if someone was poor is because they decided to be, or they were lazy, or whatnot. And
that's what my father said too, and almost all my best friends were poor growing up. Because almost everybody in that entire area was poor. There was like 1/3 of the population that had any kind of money. So everybody was friends with the poor kid.
Anybody that stole anything or did any crime was an animal. Did nuance and context never mattered. So,
Wow.
and my parents would also, both of them, would make excuses for men but not women. So if like they found out the guy was cheating on his wife, it was always, well, what wasn't she providing? It was just weird stuff like that.
Right.
And not, and, you know, and they would never ask that about him if it was her that went off and cheated. So it was
Right.
always that really weird standard of the white male is supreme and can do no wrong, and if he does stray, it's because someone led him astray or somebody wasn't providing. Or
Oh no, I got one better than that. I've heard better than that. How about men have needs?
Oh, yeah.
How about when the military's off away fighting wars, they can fuck whoever they want.
Yeah, well, men also have 2 hands and some lubricant, so they can go away.
Well, in the 90s,
but
as a
it's
guy,
true. Like my dad cheated on my mom every time he went out to sea, wherever port they hit, he fucked something, and my mom never said a thing about it because that's how she was raised. She was raised that men have needs and they're gonna do that when they're gone for more than a few months. And he was in the Navy. He was always gone from 10 months to almost a year. Always.
Oh, well, then he had lots of shipmates to work on.
Huh?
Then he had a lot of shipmates to work on.
Well, they hit ports all the time, though. The fleet he was in, they'd hit ports all the time.
Oh,
So
they call them ports now?
Whatever the fuck you want to call it, the naval stations.
Get
on to land, go against the land. I don't know. Anyways, so but they all thought it was okay. All the Navy guys did that. But when he started cheating on her at home after he got out of the Navy, she was like, I'm done. He thought he could keep doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
guys growing up in my era were always taught, oh, there's the area code rule or the zip code rule. Like if you're not in the same zip code, it's not cheating. That was...
Oh my God. Fucking man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It was an interesting time growing up when I did.
Yeah, same here. I mean, my mom transplanted us to West Virginia, so I grew up around looking at all these 30 and 40-year-old-ish, even, well, up later than that, but most of them were between like 30 and 50-year-old couples. And almost every single one of them, like the woman did all the cooking, all the cleaning, and blah, blah, blah. And he'd go to work, and she had to take care of the kids. And all he'd do was yell at him when he got home about whatever they did that was wrong when he was at work. Like that was like the blueprint there. Of course, they're like 20 years behind. But anyway. Dave, I have never heard that either. What do they call it? Zip code cheating? Who's all staticky? Echoey. It's not sweet.
I don't know.
Oh, that's better. Not in the same area code. Dave, that's different than zip code, isn't it?
Well, it was always whatever fit the situation.
Oh my God. Well, of course.
Whatever excuse that they would give. So, yeah.
Right. It's not my fault, baby. We were drinking and she grabbed my... Yeah, there's always something.
Area codes are much larger than zip codes.
Yeah, well, that was why I said that's a big difference. Agreed. Well, it also depends on where you are, too. So, I mean, I don't know.
No, it's the number of slots each has. A zip code has 5 slots. A phone number with an area code has 10 slots.
Oh, really? Learn something new every day. I know where the city that I live outside of, in that city, there's like 9 zip codes. And it's not even that big. So I don't know why they have that many. We all laugh about it. Like the joke around here is you can walk across the street and the zip code will change and walk down like 2 blocks and then it changes again. It's ridiculous. We don't even understand how they have it split up.
World Trade Center had its own zip code.
True.
It was 10010.
The weird thing about it is we only have like 2 post office buildings. So why have different? No, I think there might be 3. I'm wrong. I think there's 3 of them.
My zip code is almost the entire county, I think.
I bet.
How you doing, Christian? You seem a little tense.
Yeah, just a really bad depression spike right now. You know, just feeling like a piece of shit. If it, you know.
Well, I don't think that's realistic or fair. Don't call my friend a piece of shit. I like him. I'll kick your ass, man.
Are you on antidepressants?
Anti-anxiety medication.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot right now.
Yeah.
I
get it. I've been there, haven't I, Jenny?
Huh?
I said I've been there, haven't I, Jenny?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Jenny was around when I started spiraling and then disappeared off of YouTube. For 2 months. Yeah, sometimes we just need breaks, and you know, I was lucky that everybody in this tight knit community here we have, our smaller piece, they were all concerned about me and asked each other about me. I found out later, and you know, when I came back, they were like, "Hey," and it just felt so nice that they cared, you know. And everybody should be like that. Like, we're all fucking human, man. You shouldn't be treating anybody different unless they give you a damn good reason. You know? It's uncalled for, that's all. So you better start treating my friend nice, Christian, or I'll just...
I want to be able to not give a damn about situations like this, where it's things that happened in the past and you know, making amends for them now. It feels it's all, there's like this pit in my stomach that no matter how much I tell myself I don't care, I know I do.
About stupid stuff you did.
Because I just care about people. I care about if people are hurt by my actions or hurt by my words. I care about that deeply, and I wish I didn't. But well, I do.
You know, I would never suggest to anybody to not care, because that's ridiculous. You don't want to become a cold-hearted asshole. Like, that's not good. But the big thing about it is trying to figure out, one, you have to figure out what's worth being upset about and what's worth letting it get to you, because we all let things get to us. That's why it gets to us, because we're too kind or too nice or gentle or whatever. So the first thing is trying to decide that, you know, what's worth losing sleep over, what's worth spending time crying over, what's worth, you know, not being you and not being happy. And then you have to decide what you can fix. Can I fix any of this? Okay, I can do these steps and these steps. I've already done those. Any other steps I can do? No. Then there's nothing you can do to fix it. And then you have to just start accepting the way it is and not you just can't let. I always tell people, if you're upset because somebody did something, it's because you're letting them upset you. And you have to take that back, because those people are not sitting there at home upset or depressed or anything over any of it. Most people that hurt us don't give a flying shit that they hurt us. That's why they hurt us. The good people would come back and say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. You know, if they don't do that, they're not the good people. You don't need them in your life anyway. You're too good for that shit, because you're a good guy. You have to take your power back, man. I used to be, look, you are like me like 15, 20 years ago. I'm not even kidding right now. Like, we could have some really long conversations about this. You're so much like I was. I just, everything, I was like sensitive and kind and caring, and I'm still all those things, but I have a limit on some of those because you have to for self-preservation. Because nobody else is going to do it but you. Like, nobody else can do it for you. Somebody can guide you and they can help you along the way a little bit, but you know, that's up to you to take that step to say, you know, you have to realize it doesn't matter what you did or what, you know, any of that. What matters is what the end result was, and it's just shit. And you don't need that. You don't need shit. Nobody needs shit. We're all decent people here. I have no assholes that I talk to on here. Just none. All these people are good people. All of you guys are good people. So we all deserve better than that. Sometimes you have to weed shit out, and sometimes you have to. I kicked one of my brothers out of my life because he's toxic, and he was making me miserable, and I just couldn't be around him. So at like 46 years old, 46 years old, I just said, I'm done with you, dude. I haven't talked to him since. It's been 4 years now, and I won't. And sometimes it hurts that I can't have a relationship with him. But I know if I were to take that step and try to talk to him again, it would be the same shit, and I would get hurt, and he wouldn't. And that's what happens every time. He's mentally abusive. So sometimes you have to do those things, and it sucks. And it fucking sucks. And I'm going to say it one more time. It fucking sucks. But sometimes you have to do it for yourself.
It sucking fucks.
It fucking, yeah, it's sucking.
I'm just going to run and grab my meds real quick.
All right, buddy. Miss Jenny?
What?
How's your day?
Oh, I guess it was all right. I had cardio rehab today, so
I was going to ask you.
Pretty much revolved around that.
Yeah, so you're exhausted, but you feel good.
Yeah, which pisses me off.
For those of you who don't know, Jenny thought she was going to hate it, but now she's actually enjoying going. You know what I do, Sarah? Sarah said, I just assume everyone hates me and finds me annoying. I assume nothing. I assume nothing until I get to know someone, and I know when they say something friendly or that they care about me, then I know it's real. I assume nothing. And I take nothing to heart until I know it's from a person that, like most of you guys, if you guys said that shit to me, I would believe it, and I would take it in and thank you. But other people, I don't know, man.
You'd be surprised at what helped me was learning the fact that you'd be surprised how little other people think of you.
Yeah, I just assume
people
nothing.
generally don't think about you in particular. So if you think you've affected their life in any way, probably not.
Probably not. And that's my point. You know, I used to go home mad all the time about something. I was angry when I was younger, and for many, many reasons. But anyways, and I was mad. I was always mad at something or someone. And then one day it dawned on me, I was only hurting myself. That's all that was going on. Those people didn't lose sleep over it. If I brought it up the next day, they wouldn't even know what I was talking about most of the time. Like, what, dude, what are you talking about? Oh, when blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't even remember half that conversation. And I sat there all night mixing it around in my head, thinking about it, getting more and more mad, more and more upset, and start crying and blah, blah, blah. Because I was overthinking shit, and to them it was nothing. And to every whole rest of the world, it was nothing. So I let it get to me.
Well, don't do that, you goof.
That's what I'm saying. I don't do that anymore. I just assume nothing about how people feel about me until I know different. And then Now, if those people hurt me, oh my God, I'd be destroyed. You know, the people I really care, I'd be destroyed. But that's okay because that's somebody that's important in my life. So I have a right to be upset about it. But anyways, I don't know.
I will be right back.
Jenny, I can go on about that for hours. What's sweet?
I need Mountain Dew. Be right back.
All right, buddy. Oh, what did I miss? I just saw something. I wasn't watching the chat. Hi, Sandy. How are you? Randy's here. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate that. We're getting a little deep tonight, which is okay. We do a lot of joking around, and you know me, I'll always talk about it and try to help people.
Christian.
I get it, Sandy. Yep. Might want to wait if he's back, Jenny. I don't know if he's back or not.
Oh, he's not back? Oh.
I don't know. He's still muted.
Well, then I shan't say a thing.
Yeah, we'll just wait till they both come back. Or you can tell me how your day went. How many miles did you do?
Today I only did 2, but I was kind of fighting it against the clock and them having me move up to or like 20% more resistance.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it.
And I was able to equal the numbers from the lower resistance.
Okay. Rock on.
So it was okay.
Well, good. Good. Yeah, I was just talking to.
I don't know what I'm going to do when my time is up. I've got it's limited number of things that you can go to, and it's expensive as fuck because insurance is paying for most of it. But I got this bill that's building up, and I'll be paying it off the rest of my life, I guess.
Oh God.
So once it's over, though, I don't know what I'm going to do. I certainly don't have fancy machines.
Don't look at me. I certainly don't. I'm lucky enough that pretty much everywhere I live, there's a Planet Fitness, and they're pretty cheap. $10 a month. So I'm gonna have to re-enroll there and get my ass back into exercising again before it becomes an extra ass. Don't need no extra asses in here, man. I'm a big enough of an ass the way I am.
Yep. I hear
Facts,
you.
buddy. Facts. So what was going on with your computer, Swede?
Oh, I've just got the RGB settings all set up. So now my fans are doing their color changing.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So yeah. Friends call it an RGB nightmare. I call them boring.
Touche. I don't know that much about building computers. I mean, we were talking about that before. I know most of it's plug and play these days, and it's easier, and you don't have to
been that way for
solder
a long
shit
time.
and everything. But what's that?
It's been that way for a long time. If you can follow a set of instructions and make sure that you have a clean environment and not touch things that you're not supposed to touch, you're good.
Yeah, like oil on transistors and stuff, right?
Yeah, you basically don't try to touch the motherboard or anything where you're not supposed to, because you don't want your skin oils to get on electronic equipment that could corrode or.
Because it will do it. We are toxic, motherfucker.
Yep.
Well, you've got salts and shit and oils on your skin all the time, so you don't want to touch that stuff because it'll start to corrode, and Everything, if it has a conformal coating, that's different. But
or you'll touch it and you'll have something on your hands like thermal paste or something, and you'll just short the board, and then you have a brick.
Yeah, because it's not good for anything after that.
Yep.
You can hit somebody with it though, if we're in need of self-defense.
Well, you can make the face of a grandfather clock
for a $400 brick.
Now, Randy, that's funny, but not funny. He said, a few days ago, I tried to end it all by jumping out the basement window, but it didn't have much of an impact on me. Somebody smack him. Ox, smack him. Oh, hello, SPM. How are you? How are you? I had a crazy day today at work. It was so freaking stressful, but I got everything done and I was all caught up, and I actually had some time to go back and mess with some shit I didn't have time to mess with before, and so that was good. But, whew, man, people are just crabby today. I swear it's the full moon.
It is.
They were crabby yesterday, too. And then last week when it rained for 2 days, they were crabby then, too.
That's why they call people loony.
Wait, what, Jenny?
Rain does that, but it was a full moon yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying, Sweet?
That's where the phrase "your loony" comes from.
Because of the moon?
Loon in Latin is moon.
Right. Of course.
And so if you're loony, that means the moon's affecting your mood.
Oh. I'm going to use that as an excuse. That's why I was crabby yesterday and today. Because of the moon.
I love the fact that the place I'm living is known as Looney Valley.
Shitty. Why don't I live there? That'd be a perfect place for me. Sarah goes back to the office on the 10th. Oh, pulling everybody back in, huh? You know, everybody's like, oh, I don't know, I'm nervous going back to work. I'm like, I never quit. You've been working this whole time.
Yeah, I never have to go back in.
Lucky dog.
Are you on disability, Sweet?
No.
Oh.
I'm just nobody really expects me to have to go back in, because I'm like, you know what? At 2:00, if I need to lay down because I feel like my heart's beating out of my chest, then yeah, I'm going to. So to facilitate my ability to do that, I'm just going to stay home.
There you go.
And my boss was like, sounds good.
I mean, if you can do everything from home anyways, why go to work?
That's why I built this machine, so.
Yeah. Well, cool then. Good deal. Yeah, I tried to get a work-at-home job. But it was all like call center jobs, and I didn't have any experience, and they wouldn't hire me. I was like, really? Do you know how hard I'd work? Because I'm a fucking... Once I clock in, man, I don't stop working. Like, I'll go outside, and I'll smoke like half a cigarette and put it out, and set it in the door handle of my truck, and later on, I'll go out and smoke the... And so I'm gone for like 3 minutes twice for the entire day. And then every time I go inside, I go pee, and I wash my hands, and then I go back to work. And I just twice a day for maybe like 8 minutes. I'm not working. I'm a fucking workaholic. I just don't know how. If I say I'm going to do a job for somebody, that's a promise to me, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it right and go above and beyond and do it the best I can. So it's just, I don't know. It's just who I am. So, and then I think I'm out there like smoking a cigarette. I'm smoking like half a cigarette. I'm like, God, I feel like I'm being lazy right now. Like that's how it is. Because I took a small break. Like, we don't even take lunches. We eat at our desk and just keep working. Takes me like an hour to eat lunch. Ox wants to know if your light in the background hooks up to music.
No, but my computer one can. So the lights on all the fans can flash to the beat of the music.
Cool. I think we're boring Jenny.
No, I only got 3-4 hours last night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't plan on running really late tonight because honestly, I'm pooped. It was a rough day. I'm tired.
Yeah, we
I ended up staying up late. And every time Neil streams, I always stay up late and watch all the shit, and
we have hail and tornadoes coming.
oh, lovely. Hi, Otangelo. How you doing, bud? Yeah, anyways, so yeah, we've had so many problems at work. Okay, so they moved from one part of the building to the other to a bigger suite, which is good because they were in this little tiny everybody was crammed in together. I don't even know how they did it. I wouldn't have not able to work at the last place. It was so tiny. So they moved everything over and then I started. And so we were dealing like phone lines issues, system issues, internet issues. Comcast didn't set our settings right and everything was fucking haywire. So in the midst, and they did this a week and a half ago. So for the last week and a half, in the midst of working, I've been like going online, calling Comcast in between everything else, trying to fix everything. I got some of it fixed today, which was great, but not all of it yet. Cookies and coffee, Cadence. I love dipping a cookie in a nice hot cup of coffee. That's what I'd go with. Anyways, so
no milk, not coffee. God,
depends on the cookie. What kind of
no,
cookies
it
do you have?
doesn't. No,
Yes,
it doesn't.
it does.
It doesn't.
Yes,
It doesn't.
I'm telling you, a dry ass Chips Ahoy is 10 times better out after it comes out of a cup of coffee.
Well, yeah, Chips Ahoy because they're pieces of brick, anyways.
That's what I get, or I get like the hard.
Cookies do not come from packages. Cookies come from the oven.
Peanut butter cookie. Oh fuck yeah! I'd dip a peanut butter cookie in some coffee. Hell yeah!
No.
My wife
Yes.
makes banana chocolate chip oatmeal cookies.
Yes.
Banana chocolate. Oh my god, that sounds like Kevin. I've done banana oatmeal, but I've never put chocolate chips in them.
You could lose the chocolate chips.
Yeah. You can make cookies with no flour, right? With bananas. I've done it and they came out really good. And it's like I can't remember exactly what you put in it, but it's bananas and applesauce to sweeten it, and then
yeah, that's one of those gluten-free recipes.
What's that other fucking name? What's the other ingredient? I can't think of it right now. There's an egg, and then maybe it's just that. I can't remember, but I think there might be one other ingredient. But they're gluten-free, flour-free, and then you just put them out, and they're really wet, but then they just cook perfectly, and they're so fucking good. They're like little banana cookies. So good. Dave said they call them Ahoy because that's the coffee sound you make when you're choking on the dry cookie dust. Ahoy! Ahoy!
No, you dip cookies in milk, not coffee.
Dried cherries and oatmeal cookies are amazing. Yes.
What's a dry cookie?
You go for the ice cream. The calcium is good for the nails. Is that what you're worried about, Ox? Really?
Calcium has nothing to do with nails.
Hi, Randolph. I know. He's just being a smartass. He's coming up with something because he's trying to eat junk food. That's all it is. We all know it. How you doing there, Randolph? You can jump in if you want, of course. We're not going to run any 3-hour marathon tonight. So, okay, Jenny, what's your favorite cookie in the world?
My oatmeal cookies.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
Sweet.
What's your? Oh, go ahead.
Make them with a concoction of spices that's pretty much the same as pumpkin pie spicy.
Ah. I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
And I did it long before pumpkin spice was a thing.
Right.
Long before.
I bet that's good. That
it
good.
Is.
Yeah. Do you ever put anything in it or just oatmeal cookies?
Just oatmeal. I've tried cranberries once in a while. I tried maraschino cherries actually. That was actually pretty good.
That does sound good.
But chocolate chips, no thanks. Walnuts, yeah, maybe some walnuts. Chopped walnuts.
Can dig it. Oh. What about you, Sweet? What's your favorite cookie?
Either the chocolate banana oatmeal, or if you make chocolate chip cookies, if you leave the dough in the refrigerator overnight, they come out way better. So if you have the time to do that, that's how I prefer my cookies.
Better how?
Like they hold up better. They don't like flatten out, or they like my wife's chocolate chip cookies will be like stay like that thick, and they're like that big around. They are awesome. I married a food scientist, so.
Jenny, that says, is your beret a raspberry beret or a red beret?
Well, in honor of Prince, it's raspberry.
There you go. There you go. Aren't they trying to like sell all his shit right now?
I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me. Well, I mean, people like him, their estates can actually exist forever. Everybody else has to have their estates wrapped up after like 6 months. So it's like Elvis and Prince and some other people, their estates are going to be allowed to exist in perpetuity. So I don't think they actually have to get rid of everything.
Well, don't they just form like an S corp?
No, they actually
name it estate?
allow it to stay under the estate. So it never actually goes through probate.
Kevin, turn off your camera. Maybe you can not blag.
It goes
Poor
through
guy.
it goes through a different type of probate where they read basically the wishes, but it doesn't actually hit the probate court fees and taxes.
Dave, my address is. No, I'm kidding.
More stuff set up for the rich guy.
It's actually meant to not force sales of non-liquid assets. So it actually, you get more tax revenue out of it in the long run.
Oh.
Because the income off of it gets taxed at 100% the highest rate. So 35% across the board, a flat tax for everything in the estate. So instead of paying a 50% and forcing a sale of the assets, in which the asset prices would get heavily depreciated due to that, they actually allow estates to stay together because the income taxes off of them usually comes out to be more than what they would have gotten in the death tax.
Oh, wow.
Not that I would know anything about this or anything, but
I mean, I know you don't know shit, so we're just gonna move on then. No, but I heard that they like found like there was a couple like songs that he had never released.
Yeah, that's
and they're just like highest bidder. So and it's gonna go like crazy, and they're gonna make the family's gonna make a whole bunch of money off it. I mean, he was already loaded anyways. They don't need to make more money,
but the whole thing is they're able to take those, properly redigitize them, and then license them off or sell them in a timeline that allows them to get the best price out of it, so that when it does sell, 35% of 100 million is a lot more than 50% of 1 million.
Right.
So you kind of have to look at it from a little bit of a different perspective.
Right. No, it's true. I mean, estate sales are so complicated.
Nuance and context and
yeah. Hell, me and my ex, we used to go find. There was 3 ladies, and they were both like. I mean, they were all like 66, 5-ish to 72-ish in that range. And they had an estate sale company, and they would go through the whole house and mark everything and catalog it. They did all that shit. But you could look them up on the internet and see where they were going next. And we would follow them around every time they did an estate sale. We'd walk through, and like one time I went in, I know this is probably stupid to everybody else, but I'm a tool and screws and bolts person, right? So I went in there, huh?
So you followed them around looking for Snap-on?
Well, I mean, not necessarily Snap-on, just random shit. I didn't know Snap-on did that back then. I had no idea that you could just turn it in a fucking tool. You know, if I had the money, I'd keep doing it right now. But
one of my clients did that. He found an old Snap-on screwdriver in his backyard when he was digging it up. It was bent and rusted and damaged, and the handle was in rough shape. And the Snap-on Tools truck was just out in the front, so he went up to them because he heard about this, and they said, "Oh yeah, no problem," and they replaced it, no questions asked. I
found this in my backyard from 20 years ago.
He told them all of that.
Thank you.
They said, "We mean it when we say lifetime guarantee." So here you go. And now that's all he wants to buy is Snap-on Tools because of that. So he's gradually changing all his tools over. Whenever he needs to replace them, he goes and buys Snap-on. It costs more, but it's worth it for him.
Mac Tools has the same deal. So does Cornell.
I've heard Craftsman does too.
Yeah, Craftsman's a little bit more involved to actually get the trade in, but it's
Craftsman a little bit more what?
Involved.
Yeah.
They don't have a truck running around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sears is closed everywhere now, so you got to go. I think they have it at Rona now, though. Or Lowe's.
Ace Hardware's in U.S.
Okay.
And I think a couple other places.
Lowe's has it too. That's
correct. But you got to be careful. You have to go to the right Ace Hardware because usually there's only like one or two in a metropolitan that will do the trade-in system. The other ones won't.
Oh.
Just because Craftsman's like, yeah, let's keep this easy for shipping and everything, so we're not shipping them all over the place.
Right.
I own probably, I haven't done inventory for a long time. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 8,000 to 10,000 Snap-on tools. And yes, they absolutely do replace them. No questions. I had a 13 millimeter combination wrench that I dropped, and it hit a battery and shorted the battery. Fortunately, there was no hydrogen gas accumulated around it, but it sparked good and welded the screwdriver to the fender of the car, or the wrench to the fender of the car.
Yep.
It only takes an instant.
Yep.
And I was able to get it off. It was really quite the exciting afternoon. But
my most exciting afternoon when I was a technician.
Snap-on warranted it then, and I got a new one. Clearly my fault. They still got one.
Who's doing it? Who's got an echo? Who?
Not me.
I heard it from both you and Jenny, actually.
Oh, there's no way it could be me. I don't have anything on.
It's not a bad thing. It sounds kind of nice, but so it's not disruptive or anything. It wasn't a bad thing. That's why I just typed it in the chat instead of saying something.
Well, now we've said something, Randolph, so here we are.
I blame you.
I know you do.
In the nicest possible way.
It's my month. I'll take this month.
I blame you.
It's almost over. I'll take May. You can have June.
I blame you in the nicest possible way.
And then we'll give Sweet July. Jenny can have August. Who wants September? Who wants to be at fault in September?
I'll take October because that's where Halloween comes in.
Oh, no, Randolph. You don't want to take the heat for that, buddy. We got to give that to somebody that just can really... We'll give that to, like, Godless Scummer or somebody that can really take that shit.
Oh, it's October get really bad, does it?
I'll take September. That's International Aortic Health Day. For a month.
Good choice.
Oh, now we get to pick our months. Okay, fine. Randolph can have October. You can have September. Jenny, which one do you want? Cadence. I'll take September. Fuck it. Now you got to pick a different one now.
And she was just talking about cookies in the oven.
I guess I could take June since that's my birth month. Yeah. About turn 50, you guys. It's going to be a sad day.
I should celebrate making it half a century. That's a good thing.
My brother Richard, he's like, I don't celebrate birthday. He just doesn't care. He's just like, whatever, that's stupid, He's
pretty apathetic then. Okay.
Yeah, he just doesn't care about it, He's like, whatever. And I just tell people, I just don't celebrate my birthday because it just makes me older. Why do I have to count? Oh, well, I'm 50 now. Although, the decade milestones are kind of big, though.
There's a math teacher at one of the schools that I was doing computer support for. I'm a consultant, but what happened was they moved to a new facility, and he had this empty picture frame sitting on one of the shelves near his desk. And so one day I came in because he never got around to putting anything in it. So I put out a picture of Count Von Count from Sesame Street. And I put a message there. He looks very happy in the picture, and I put a message under it, every student counts. And I stuck it in the frame for him and left it on his desk, and he's put it up on the wall. He thinks it's great.
That's awesome.
He's doing a lot of adult ed stuff, so that was kind of neat.
That's great, man.
No, he said adults come in and they love it. So it's really good.
All right. Cadence has the coffee and the cookies are in the oven. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
I guess everybody can associate with Sesame Street.
Like I said, I don't do my birthdays. It just reminds me how many trips around the sun I've made.
That's a pretty big trip.
Yeah. Yeah. It's lots of spinning around on this big disc we live on.
It's not the most fun trip in the universe, but it's not the worst either.
It's true.
Yeah. My favorite mind-blowing moment is that dinosaurs existed on the other side of the galaxy. So 65 million years ago, the Earth was on the other side of the galaxy.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, no shit.
So if the galaxy was 65 million light years across, we could look over.
Yeah. Yeah, but
be like,
light's already escaped us. But yeah,
how you doing over there?
If we
watch out for comets.
This makes an example for a good point, though, with time travel, is that if we were to travel back in time, we wouldn't see the dinosaurs.
No, because we'd be halfway across the galaxy.
Yeah, the other side of the galaxy, we'd maybe see something else, or we might materialize in rock. I think we have better chance of winning a lottery, though.
Or in between arms of the galaxy in which you're just in empty space.
That's more likely.
Hey, you guys, look. We're 58 minutes in, and we finally got around to history. Go ahead. Oh, and Kevin, hi.
Hello, Kevin.
Hello.
Kevin Chaos.
I'm doing better now.
How are you, man?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just getting home from work. It's a little too warm for this avatar, though.
Yeah, you look like you're sweating your ass off there, buddy.
Yeah, Irish Sweet.
90 degrees. Yeah, this is fun.
One of the other problems, Irish Sweet, I guess, is that our galaxy is probably not stationary where it is in the universe.
Nope.
So the chances of us materializing in empty space is pretty high.
So we are going like this around the sun. We are going like this as the sun travels.
Yep.
And we're
then
spinning.
we're going like this as the sun travels along the arm. And then we're traveling like this as the galaxy moves.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those.
It's
one of those
really
fun facts
weird.
that absolutely confounds flat earthers. They just can't perceive it.
I mean, it is hard to, even for those of us who know that it is really a sphere.
Yeah, but
it's still hard to conceive.
But they're missing their 3D gene. They can't do anything in 3D.
It's easier just to step back and look at the galaxy as a whole and say, okay, it's going that way. All the stuff inside is just a mess.
In I don't remember how many years we will be
for a second. Wow. Cadence makes an interesting point there. Yeah, Randolph, traveling back in time, even for a second, would put the traveler in outer space without compensating for spatial travel.
What did Cadence say?
Oh, I'll read it again. Cadence just wrote, yeah, Randolph, traveling back in time, even for a second, would put the traveler in outer space without compensating for spatial travel.
So yeah, that's what if you put lines on planetary movement, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, that's all.
I think Dave put it best.
Secular Dave says, so the problem with time travel is it's freaking time travel.
Time travel.
Yeah, that's
Randolph's my honorary banner reader. I just let him do it because he likes to.
I think it's important to read them out because if somebody's listening without looking at the screen, then they don't miss it, right? So, or
Right.
if somebody's blind and listening, they don't miss it.
Well, Jenny's on her phone right now, so that's why a lot of the times when I put it up, I'll leave it up for so long. And then if she doesn't respond to it and something having to do with her, they'll be like, Jenny, read that. And then she'll look, so.
To me, I think,
yeah.
Apparently, we will never be able to travel backwards in time. Because if
makes sense to me.
Because if we could, somebody would have been here by now to tell us that we can.
Yeah, I think didn't Stephen Hawking arrange some kind of a meeting for time travelers to come and meet with him?
Yep.
And nobody showed up?
Jenny, I fucking love you.
So
we could travel back in time, somebody would have told us by now.
Yeah.
Relativistic.
Or was that Carl Sagan who did that?
The Earth is moving at 1.3 million miles per hour.
1.603 is what Ox wrote down.
So
million miles per day.
I wonder how much
miles per hour.
Per hour?
Million miles per hour.
1 million miles per hour.
1.3
million miles per hour to kilometers per second.
I need to understand this right now. Let me change.
You can't feel it, but we're 581 space at 1.3 million miles per hour.
That's 581 kilometers. That's 581 kilometers per second. That is really fast.
So
yeah, go ahead.
It's like
jump back in time.
So Cadence is totally right. Moving back in time 1 second. Yeah.
Sweet, that one's for you.
It's a good thing we have momentum on our side. Actually, it's on all sides, isn't it?
Yes, I do.
There you go. See how we took care of that? Questions can be answered on this stream right here.
Yep.
Yeah, for displaying
engine and a rain meter.
For displaying messages, I like overprotected atheist here. Hey, friends. One of the things I notice a lot of channels, people get used to doing it. They'll read the message, then they'll flash it up on the screen, and it disappears before you can finish reading it. And I think a good rule of thumb is literally at least 10 seconds per line of writing. And then I usually leave
it up. If it's short, if it's short, I'll leave it up for like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
and if it's long, I'll leave it up for like 20 or 30. I don't care. I want everybody to get their say in.
All right, I got a question.
Go, Jenny, go.
Why are Americans seemingly universally so completely ignorant about world history?
Is this a trick question?
What's world history?
No, it's not.
I'm kidding.
Trick question.
So that's kind of a localized question, because if you go to Europe and ask them about history not dealing with Europe, they're pretty ignorant too. If you go to China and ask them about history not dealing with China, Mongolia, Southeast Asia, they're pretty ignorant too. So it's pretty common for you to be geographically centric about the history you learn. I think probably the only culture that would be the widest spread of history education would be the British, because they were the biggest assholes around the world.
No, it's true. It's true. So, Jenny, just so you know, Ox did some math for us. He said, so the Earth has gone 351,057,000 billion mile. What? 350. How did he write that?
Oh, okay. So he's saying the Earth has gone 351 quadrillion, 57 trillion miles in the last 600,000 years. Cool.
You're both
that's
wrong.
what
It
he
says
was saying.
billions
Okay.
right there in front of you. One says quadrillions, the other says millions. It's like, come on, it says billions right there.
He's got 9 digits before billion. So the last 3 digits are in the billions. The 3 before that are in the trillions, and then before that is quadrillions.
Is that how you meant it, Ox? Is that correct?
That's a lot of miles.
No,
according to
you count
Google,
that from the right to the left. You got tens, you got ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions.
But we're talking in that number is in billions.
Yeah, 351 billion miles.
351 quadrillion.
No, 351 billion. It says billion right there.
No, it doesn't say 351 billion.
Yes, it does.
No, there's another 6 digits you're missing, so that actually brings it up to quadrillions.
Show me where these 6 digits are. You're like writing a Bible here, putting in
so
that doesn't exist.
351 followed by 057 followed by 000. That's
followed by 000 followed by 000 followed by 000.
Where does it say that?
Right on the
billion.
The thing I'm reading
billion
here,
right after the number. So we're talking in billions.
351,057,000 billion miles in the last 600,000 years.
Right. Yeah. So that's 351 quadrillion. 57 trillion.
No, miles. It's quintillion. Billion.
No. There's no
it's
multiplier. There's no divisor.
No, quadrillion comes before quintillion.
Yeah, so it'd be the zero. The first 000 is billions.
Right.
Okay, so hold on. Ox just wrote in the chat 351 billion, not the way you guys are saying it.
We're saying it how it's written. I know this. I did well.
That's how Google wrote it, but I don't think. Is that what you're saying, Ox? That it's 351 billion and nothing to do with quadrillion anything, right?
Well, no, the way he wrote it would be 351 million.
Yeah, if he didn't put the word billion on there.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's million. That's not billion.
So if we're talking, so this is the way financial statements are written all the time because they're written in millions.
Yeah.
And so you just multiply everything by 1 million. Here you multiply that number by a billion.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's what I did.
So it is quadrillion. You're right.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that.
Billion, trillion, quadrillion. Yeah. No. Counting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's throwing you off because you're used to it in millions, perhaps, or something, and it's messing with you.
No, I just
see. This is no fair for you guys to be bringing up numbers of somebody else dyscalculia.
Oh, okay.
I can't do math.
Kenny, I love you. Disco, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I can't do math.
I'll just leave this picture of the black hole up.
Hey.
Yes, Sandy, leave it to Ox to start a fight. I know, right? You can't take this guy anywhere, man. Whew.
Well, a cubit is about the length of a forearm.
Yes. Isn't a rod like 3 feet or something like that?
Depends on the guy.
Fucking Jenny.
So you're talking biblical
no
cubits.
Better to ask you that.
In Chinese medicine, they have a cubit, which is about an inch. So this will be biblical cubits, though, because they're referencing the Bible here. Irish Swede has some interesting pictures.
684 light years is what Ox said. So whatever that equals.
At the speed of light.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. What's the speed of light expressed in cubits?
I want that number.
Yeah, let's do it.
Computer code.
Let's do it.
Okay. This is an interesting number that's come up. I just asked Google to translate it, and it tells me that the speed of light in qubits is 666,005,660. Starts with 666. Oops.
Oh, that's great. That's perfect.
Oh my goodness.
I just typed it in the private chat.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Randolph, could you send that to me in a DM on Twitter?
Okay, sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
I got to make a meme out of that.
Shit, he's like, oh, I'm so memeing that shit. Oh, that's not where I meant to put it. There you go, guys. So you can see the number in the chat. Anybody else having Twitter problems?
I have Twitter problems all the time.
No, I tried to send Christian a message to check on him, and it's not letting me send it. Randolph, do you have him on Twitter?
I do. I'll send him.
Thank you. Cookies? Oh, there's pictures. Pictures of cookies.
Message failed to send.
Me too. I've never had that happen before.
Who are you trying to send to?
This account does not exist.
What?
Oh, that's going to cramp their style.
Did he just kill his account?
Who? Who are we talking about?
Christian Watkins.
Oh, really? Huh.
It won't even load his account for me. It's just sitting here spinning. And I tried both my Wi-Fis, and normally I have no issues with them. So it's either something to do with Twitter or he killed his Twitter account. I don't know.
Email or personal phone number or anything?
No.
How about out in chat there? Any of you?
I can't find him in Twitter. But Twitter's search is kind of lousy.
Well, Swede and I both have him. It's just not.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah,
You want to share a link to his profile in the private chat, and I'll see if I can access it. Simply Secular Dave says, Twitter is the problem.
Yeah.
Well, seriously, anybody out in chat, if you know him, get a hold of him. See if he's okay.
I don't think anybody here does, Jenny. Yeah, there you go. Swede put it in there. Thank you, Swede. Faster than I am. If I bring Twitter up on my computer, it makes me lag too bad while I'm live streaming. I have to, go to my camera and then wait till I get back out of Twitter. I mean, I kill my camera.
I'm getting the same error.
You guys will see me like this.
I'm getting the same error. The account doesn't exist. That's a shame.
Okay.
Well, with the amount of forlorn depression he was expressing tonight, I think we should do whatever we can to get a hold of him.
I missed something important by the sounds of it.
Yes.
Oh, no. I hope he's okay.
Me too. Let's just say that he has recently had a really hard slap in the face that all of us older people have been through, where people you care about hurt you. Let's just put it that way.
I really liked him. I really like him. He's a smart guy.
Oh man, he came on and he came back and just admitted it and said, I've just been having some problems with this stuff, and I'm really upset about it, and he was very forthright and didn't pull any punches, and has admitted his part in it or whatever, So
I have only met him in the last couple of days. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, we're just gonna assume he's all right, and I will email my brother because I think he might have his email. Because Richard only sends out invites via email, and he has invited him on his show before.
I want some strawberry banana yogurt.
That actually sounds pretty good. You know, last 2 times I bought yogurt, I always buy like, you know, because they're always on sale, 5 for, you know, $7 or 5 for 10 or whatever. So I always buy 5 of them because I get suckered right into that shit, that marketing. And then I end up throwing out like 2 or 3 every time. I'll start eating them and then I forget or just get out of the mood. So
I want V8.
That does sound good.
The V8 and the M5.
That would be okay, but I'd be happy with a bottle of V8 that tastes really good.
Could be Cadence. Just so you know, Jenny, Cadence said maybe Twitter was the source of depression and he cleared that temptation out. Could be.
Very
and if
possible.
that's what he needs to do, then good for him.
Twitter.
I know somebody was messaging him, so I have a feeling he saw something that hurt him. So.
Oh no! I notice people sometimes take a hiatus from Twitter for a while, sometimes a week or two, sometimes a month or two, and they just need to get a break from it. And I think Twitter is really quite effective at putting up notifications, and that probably drives people crazy because things can turn into storms really fast on Twitter.
You know what I do? I go in. Wow. I'll have to go fix that in a second. I had my door propped open with a bungee because it catches the air coming around my house and brings it into my house. And the wind just kicked out of nowhere and just broke my bungee in two. So I'll get that in a minute. But anyway, so I turn all my notifications off. Like that pop up on your screen. I'll let the little notification be on the app itself, so I know there's something there, and then I just check it when I have time.
What I do,
I don't check it all day along at work. I'm too busy. You guys.
What I do is I just go to a link that is searching for anything that addresses me. So you put TO:, and then your Twitter handle, and you can see all the messages that are addressed to you, and that's good enough. Then I miss all the other notifications. I can just ignore it. It cuts down a lot, actually.
I just turn notifications off.
Yep, I just ignore it. I don't even pay attention to it. I leave it on.
So if people actually message me, you actually have to DM me for it to...
Yeah, those direct messages show up on the side highlighted, so that's okay. Now, one problem I've noticed with Twitter, though, is messages will get delayed. Sometimes entire chat histories disappear for a while, then they come back. Sometimes messages selectively disappear. I don't know what's going on, but I think Twitter has some bugs.
Yeah, I'm about ready to hide more.
Like that.
You are really breaking up, Kevin.
Kevin, you're breaking up so much that we can't understand what you're saying. I'm sorry. Oh, a lot of people, that Cadence is making a good point about only checking Twitter and browser on the PC. That's what I do. I don't have it on my phone, but I know a lot of people have social media on their phones. I won't do it. I don't want it on my phone. I don't want it there bugging me and wearing down my battery. I don't even have email on my phone. I get too many emails every day.
I hear that. I only get about 300 a day.
Oh, okay. You're getting up to mine. I get over 500 a day. A lot of reports from automated systems are included in that, but that probably accounts for less than 100.
And that doesn't count.
And penis enhancers and email is so annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I prefer it to actual mail.
Yeah, and yeah, it's easy to delete. You don't have to throw it in a basket. You just delete it. But I find I've been involved in anti-spam communities since the early to mid 1990s, and behind the scenes, like, we're trying to make life difficult for the spammers who go out and cause all kinds of problems. most of them are scammers as well. They'll take the money and run is what most of them do. And so you won't actually get anything if you order anything from their email junk emails that they send you. Unfortunately, there's a lot more of them than there are of us. So we're basically down to just pressuring internet providers to terminate the spammer accounts as soon as possible or get blacklisted. And that's where it's gone to for the most part. So it's a shame because the internet would be a lot better if people didn't have to contend with spam. But we still work at it. We still do it. I contribute to a few blacklists, some popular ones.
Is James Spader on any of those blacklists?
Sorry, who?
James Spader.
James Spader?
Yeah.
He's
the protagonist in the TV show Blacklist.
No.
Oh yeah, he absolutely is.
What goes into the blacklists are domain names in certain blacklists, and most of them is just IP addresses of sources.
Randolph, you're killing the joke.
Sorry, I do that. I apologize. Yeah.
Oh my
we don't blacklist people.
It's an excellent. It's the first 3 seasons are excellent if you ever want to watch it. After that, it's just pretty.
Have you seen a legal thriller / drama called Damages?
I've heard of it. I think. What's it on?
Oh, it's about a law firm, and they get into some crazy stuff, and they bring in famous people for some of the cases to act as litigants or whatever. It was actually pretty good. When I was bored for a few years, I was watching that while working on stuff that was boring me to tears. It was pretty good. It was well done.
Have you seen? Do you have Amazon?
I don't subscribe to any TV services, so that's where you're going with that.
Okay, because there's Amazon has a series called Goliath where what's his he's a lawyer who plays kind of the ex large law firm guy who's now an alcoholic and takes cases for the underdog.
Wow.
In civil cases.
He's a pro bono kind of guy. Okay.
He's the ex-husband of Angelina Jolie.
Brad Pitt?
Oh, Brad Pitt.
No. Think before Brad Pitt.
Billy Bob
Thornton. That's who it is.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were together.
Brad Pitt and Jolie divorced, huh?
I think.
Yeah.
I think they did that a few years ago. I don't know. Who can keep track of those fuckers, man?
Dude, I thought that was just in a movie where they were both spies, but that became real, huh? Wow.
Happens
Yeah,
more than you think.
I think they were together before that, as far as I know.
I don't really follow it. Like, a bunch of people asked me what I think about Bill Gates and Melinda Gates divorcing, and that's how I found out about that, because I saw it on the tabloids today. Huh?
Did they? I just don't keep track of that shit.
Yeah, they divorced.
It just doesn't affect me on a daily basis. So. Oh, really?
Wow, that surprises me about him.
He was cheating?
He got caught making inappropriate advances towards people who employees of the foundation.
Of course. Power trip.
Wow.
Power got to him finally.
And who would ever do it with Bill Gates? I mean, come on.
Well, that's why he had to use the power to get laid. His wife, apparently, at least once.
That's really disappointing, because after Microsoft, he seemed to be going in the right direction to try to make things better in the world with all his fortune.
Well, it doesn't mean he's a total piece of shit. It just means he's a cheater. He might still have good ideas to help the world out. He just can't keep his dick in his pants.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of surprised, because that doesn't seem to be like somebody who's doing all that good stuff. Why would you be into this? It's like,
back in the day when this country was founded and we took it away from the Native Americans, all of those guys fucked whoever they wanted. But still, some of them had some good ideas.
Wow.
We were talking about that earlier, that men have needs thing.
Ben Franklin was known, and it was a known philanderer.
Oh yeah, he was an occultist. He went to occult orgies.
Wow, he was having fun.
Yeah.
And Thomas Jefferson had a bunch of kids via his female slaves.
I've heard about that.
He raped them.
Yes, he raped them.
Yeah,
you know what's messed up about it, though? Compared to how most people treated their slaves, he actually treated his better.
Yeah, they're still slaves.
Except for that. You know what I mean? Like they had because I've been to his property.
There's only one good way to treat your slave, and that's to not let them be a slave anymore.
Slave, right? No, I agree with that. I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm just saying he was, besides the rape thing, he was the lesser of the evils when it came to slave owners. From what I know,
I think a better way to characterize it then would be say he had a little bit more empathy than the other slaveholders.
No, I would actually disagree.
I don't even know if I go that far with it.
I didn't say it was full empathy. I said just a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tweed.
I would even disagree with that.
Yeah. Really? Oh, yeah. They're slaveholders. That's the fundamental problem right there.
He wasn't he was probably worse than the others.
Really?
Yeah.
He was brilliant, though. Mr. Invention Man.
He's yeah.
You're thinking Edison, not Jefferson.
No, wait a minute. Hold on, let me look it up. I know it's not Edison, but I might be thinking of the wrong.
Okay. Ben Franklin is the inventor guy. Jefferson probably invented a few things, but he is the one that was worried that England was going to outlaw slavery earlier than they actually did. I think it was 1833 when they actually did.
He worried about that.
Washington, and a few others were worried that England was going to outlaw it in the 1750s because there were some grumblings about it. And that's what actually led to the American Revolt, because they were worried that their entire livelihood was going to get taken away from them because of their ability to produce through slavery.
No, I'm right. It's Thomas Jefferson.
Wow. So that's the history.
Yeah.
No wonder nobody wants to tell anybody that. That's terrible.
If you want to read a book about it, it's called The People's History of the United States.
If you want to have a lot of fun, read the Star Spangled Banner beyond the first verse.
Yeah, beyond the first verse, it talks about slaves. And
now, didn't Thomas Jefferson also make an attempt to write a better Bible?
Yeah, he took out all the stuff that he didn't like, and it turned out to be like 40 pages long.
Wow.
He took out
I think it was just the teachings of Jesus minus the claims of divinity and miracles.
Was slavery taken out of it too? I guess 40 pages it would be.
Well, I don't think
he rewrote the New Testament
on slavery.
He only did the New Testament, and it was
only the New Testament.
Supposedly contributed to Jesus, that Jesus said this, Jesus said that.
Yeah, the Jefferson Bible. You know, he makes that effort, and yet most Christians these days are not using the Jefferson Bible. And yet a lot of the things they pick and choose seem to be more in line with the Jefferson Bible. Like, do you guys want to really progress your religion or not?
Okay, no, he didn't. Okay, so he didn't invent the dumbwaiter, but he did prove the design of it. And everybody started using his design. He invented a macaroni machine.
Nice.
I thought
he
invented the tip structure for a waiter that's not really up to par. Never mind.
Hardy.
We're just going to leave that alone and move on. He invented a revolving chair with a leg rest and writing arm. And he invented new types of iron plows created especially for hillside plowing. He also put a clock in his house. And this is the coolest thing I ever saw when I was there. There's a clock. It's a perpetual clock. And he built it into his house, and it's got weights on it and everything. The clock's right there. They've never touched it. It's never been adjusted. It's 6 minutes off. 6 minutes.
How many years has it been running now? Then
Yeah, I've never heard
Ever
of
since
any
he
of that stuff.
built Monticello. So look, whatever. Here, I'll look it up.
A few hundred
That's
years.
like over 200 years.
Wow.
And he died on the
Perpetual
4th of
clock.
July.
How interesting.
John Adams.
1772 is when Monticello was built. So 6 minutes off from 1772.
Wow.
That's why I was impressed with him. He also invented the first.
I gotta go. Sorry, I gotta head off for dinner. I'll be back in a bit.
Oh, okay. That's fine, Randolph. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely enough.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
He also invented a transcribing tool. So he built, like, it was just two pieces of wood with a clamp in the center, a bolt in the center where you could adjust it. And this side had a clamp for another pencil. So while he was writing, it was transcribing for him.
Yeah, there's an actual name to that device.
Yeah, I can't think what it is right now.
Something graph.
Yes, it is a something graph. You're right. But yeah, they have like his office set up, and they show you the alcove because his bed was like in a wall. I guess the best way to describe it, you could get to it from either side, and it was like a dome-shaped arch above his bed, and his bed was this way. And they tell you all about it, and then you get to the bed. This is where he slept every night for so many years, blah blah blah, before he died, and he died here. And you're like, ugh, because you didn't even know they're gonna do it to you. So kind of makes you go, Jesus Christ, dude, didn't see that coming.
Thomas Jefferson was only 4'3" tall.
Yeah, he was very, very short. And it's funny because they have his original desk and chair and everything there, and they have the whatever graph is sitting there, and then he
invented kitty furniture too. Then,
yes, he did. None of it was big furniture.
Yeah,
because he was a tiny dude. Yeah, it's true.
And like kitty utensils, kitty plates, and sippy cups.
Thomas Jefferson was 6'2".
No, I thought he was short. I thought he was like 5 foot tall.
No.
Oh, who am I thinking of then?
That's probably Franklin. I think Franklin was pretty short.
Napoleon.
No, Napoleon was 5'7".
Yeah, I know, but still considered short.
The reason why people think he's short is because the French instituted a different measurement system, and under that, it was 5'2".
Oh, because that's what I thought.
And if he went to England and got his height checked, it would be 5'7".
Oh.
Did Napoleon actually lose part of his legs in one of the battles, though?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Well, thank you, Ox, for more information on that. He said the clock, Jefferson's clock also told the day of the week. Yes, that's right. I totally forgot about that. And had only the hour hand on the outside of the wall because that's all the outside help needed to know. Makes sense. Gerald Ford, right
all the
after
outside help
the
slash that just means slaves.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Gerald Ford, right after being the first person to sniff liquid paper. Sarah said it's weird seeing Randolph not building something right now. Yes, that's right, Ox. All but 3 signatures on the Declaration of Independence were slave owners. That's absolutely true. True, yeah. I mean, almost everybody did.
I thought it was Abraham Lincoln that said, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet."
It was.
Yes, that's the first meme I ever saw of Lincoln on Facebook or something. It was on Facebook. Yeah. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Abraham Lincoln. Maya. Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, Maya.
How are you?
Hello, Maya.
You're going to be surprised, Maya, but we're actually discussing history. So that's fun. I say what all the time? What do I say? I say a lot of things. I don't even know what I say.
Thomas Jefferson also wrote a cooking manual, cookbook, featuring recipes for dogs. Well, of dog, of not for the dog, but of dogs.
Made of dog.
Yeah. There you go.
With dog is the main ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't know if
I'm not going to eat from that cookbook.
I don't know if it was Jefferson. A friend of mine once had a cookbook that was made by the wives of one of the founders. One of the wives, I can't remember which one it was, but they had allowed some of their slaves to insert their recipes and actually accredited the slave who was in putting their recipe in the cookbook and put it in their own words. So it was pretty interesting to read that. Obviously, those are people they had taught to write to some extent. So yeah, I'll have to try and I'll ask my friend next time I see him.
Okay, I'm about to be really sarcastic and play the devil's advocate, like maybe like Aunt Jemima or somebody like that, where they had her chained to the table in the original picture.
Well, yeah, maybe not so well known.
True.
And there's good recipes that we'd still use,
Yeah.
today, obviously. So it was a form of kind of passing down those kind of cultural traditions.
It was, but a lot of them made money off of it. Was my point.
And the reason why Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima are called the way they are is because people in those era thought that Mr. and Mrs. was too respectful for the black people. So that's why everyone was called Uncle and Aunt, because they didn't want to afford them the proper title of Mr. or Mrs.
That's kind of strange, though. That makes it familial. It seems kind of counterintuitive, right?
Yeah, because then it's more like your family.
But it's not respectful.
But it's not respected family.
I'm still curious about the recipes for dogs.
Oh, kind of like my brother. Not Richard, but the one above him. Yeah, he's Uncle somebody. Nobody calls him sir, though.
Does he make hot dogs?
Does he make what?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs?
Hardy.
Well, considering he's been a stay-at-home bitch for a long time, I'm sure he's made hot dogs.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's made them. 99% of the best Southern food comes from the slave cooks, and the best of folk and R&B music is from the... Yes. It's absolutely the truth. From the slave days, yes. Quote, unquote. I agree, Ox. You know what people always say, if you could travel, what would you want to do? And I'd want to go back to one of the juke joints. Man, they had some good music, and they were dancing and having a good time, and they were out in the middle of the woods, and, most of the time everybody left them alone. But I think that would be amazing to experience.
Absolutely.
I would just be in awe. Just the talent and the singing and the dancing and God.
There was also probably thrill to it because you're doing something completely illegal, right? It's like being a kid and, partying and not wanting to get caught by mom and dad, but a little more extreme.
Oh, yeah. The cops would raid them and shit and fucking kill people. It was horrible. Yeah. But wouldn't it, Maya? Could you imagine traveling back in time and going to a Jew? You'd have to take me with you, Maya. I might get killed.
They were practicing.
All the white people were killing black people back then.
The police were practicing for their future raids on gay bars.
Yes, I agree, Ox. It's just like when they talk about Egypt. Egypt, to build all the pyramids, they used slaves. Well, who the fuck do you think built our infrastructure? Our original infrastructure.
That is something that has been
disproven.
Disproven that it was a very organized labor force that was paid well and taken care of.
Really?
Paid well, taken care of, and their families were well taken care of if that worker died on the job. They were given a pension for the lifetime that was worth the lifetime, what was left of considered the lifetime earnings of that person.
Wow. And you're talking about what? What part of the infrastructure? All of it?
Yeah, everything from the pyramids to the temples to...
Oh, you're talking about in Egypt?
Yeah.
No, I was talking about over here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't keep up with Egypt history, but they did disprove that, huh?
What's that?
They did disprove that for Egypt. That's interesting.
Egypt was not built by slaves.
Huh.
Well, I think that's a little 50-50. It's like here, it's the same thing. There was an organized workforce of the nationals, but there were some imported slaves, which was the same there as in here. And even you don't even call it slavery, but basically just kind of these egregious policies when it came to what work was considered you know, they didn't have any regulations, basically, you know. So when we had, say, the Chinese here in California in the 1800s, there was nothing illegal about it. They weren't slaves; they were choosing to work, but they were also working under the most horrible, egregious conditions you could imagine, and a lot of people died that way because there was no regulation in the market, so in the workforce.
Which is why you have OSHA. It's exactly why we have OSHA. Yeah, that's interesting. I had no idea that they found that out over there, honestly. I haven't looked into anything about Egypt in I don't know how long. A lot of years. A lot of years.
I'll have to link you to the book I read. It's very recent, and there's a lot of new stuff. I can't think of it. It's been a little over a year ago since I read it, but I'll link you that. It's a really fascinating take on that.
That one's for you, Swede. Thank you for coming, Mice. We need some more humor in the chat.
I see nothing as well. I'm too busy looking for wallpaper engine backgrounds.
That's what he's playing with right now.
I've settled on this one, I think.
Swede's over here multitasking.
That looks really cold. Play that all summer, and then in the winter show like a beach or something. Make us feel a little warmer.
So the beach, is pretty, though. I could go with...
Oh, it's got the day of the week on it. Aren't you fancy? Oh, there you go.
The day of the week is from Rainmeter. That's a different program.
Oh, okay.
Or we could go autumn. I like fall. Fall's when they play football.
I used to love fall because when I was in high school, it's when I played basketball.
My favorite city, New York City.
New York is your favorite city?
Yep.
How much time have you spent there?
A lot. Like
what part of New York City?
I would spend months at a time for years.
Really?
Yeah. Because our when I was at Ladenburg before the merger, that's where their home office was. So I would go out for like a month or two.
Right. Okay.
Stay in the city and work up there, and then I usually spend probably before COVID, and obviously my heart issues. I would spend probably 3-4 weeks a year there. I love it. Absolutely love it. I love being in a city of 8 million people and alone.
No, I don't. Too many people, man. I can't. I just can't.
Are you sure that's not quadrillion people?
I feel like I'm smothered and I can't breathe.
8 quadrillion.
Right. It's 8 quadrillion, 656 trillion, 570 billion. See, but Randy, a modern juke joint just wouldn't be the same, man. It's not going to be the same as back in the day. I want to feel that vibe. I want to, like, absorb that, you know? Yeah, I agree, Maya. I did have some fun in New York with my ex. Her sister lives there. She is she's part of NYPD, and she's one of the good cops. She's an amazing person. And Theo's got another icon. Theo keeps updating his icon. We're not going to know who the hell he is. Don't change your name. Anyways, but we had a lot of fun in New York City. Like, we walked down to some of the little, what do they call them? They're like little convenience stores. What do they call them? Huh?
Bodegas.
Thank you. Bodegas. We went down to some of the bodegas, and like they had like their version of a dollar store, and it was just packed full of shit. 12 feet high in the fucking ceilings. And oh yeah, I know, Dave. Yeah, smoking inside a bar sucks. I don't even like it, and I'm a smoker. Yeah, but we had some fun, and we ate some good food, and ate something different for every meal. Went to a different restaurant and just walked there. And we did have some fun, but she was also in the nice part of the city, so
You hit on a topic that I got to talk about.
Go.
I think first of all, I'll start off by saying I think the fact that the public, almost everything has gone smoke free, is a very good thing.
Oh, I agree.
And I'm a smoker, but
I'm allergic to cigarette smoke.
There should be bars that are allowed to be smokable, and they should be labeled on the outside that this is a smoking bar.
I agree with that too.
And the employees should be told that before they start working there and sign a waiver to deal with the liability for it. I think that's just completely unfair that people who smoke are eliminated.
The liability for that wouldn't work.
One of their habits.
You can't do a liability waiver.
I'll tell you.
You can
at
if the
least
law
here in
supports
California, the way that works. I've been to hundreds of bars, gigging as a musician, and I've found 2 bars in California that still allow smoking. The only way that they're allowed to do that under our law is if they were if they allowed smoking prior to the law being passed, and they had to have been open before a certain date. And so I found 2 out of hundreds that I visited across the state that still allow smoking under those conditions.
And the other thing I think that they should have done with that is to allow places like airports to build negative pressure sealed rooms for smokers. It's very easy to build a negative pressure room where
some
air
airports have smoking rooms. Some airports
we used to have that on the Amtrak, and they took them away, which I thought was stupid.
See, Jenny, I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. I can't stand the stuff. And as much as I really like that it's outlawed over the place, I agree with you. These places should be available.
Yeah. Thank you, Randall.
So I will say that when I lived in Ohio, the bar owners, there was a couple, I think there was like 6 or 7 bars in our little town. And 3 or 4 of those after like 9 or 10 p.m. or something like that, when the cops wouldn't walk in, they would allow smoking. They'd pull ashtrays out and let everybody smoke. And they'd tell people like, hey, if this bothers you, let us know. And they'd move all the smokers down one side of the bar. And then, and if people didn't want to be around to smoke, they could just not go on that side of the bar. And they left them the good side with the pool tables and all that shit,
That's not good enough. If they're going to allow it.
No, I know. I agree with you. No.
Then the whole place should be designated as that. And it should be built specifically so that the HVAC is negative pressure, vented to the outside, and there wouldn't be any fucking problem.
My point is that this is what the bar owners have to go through to keep their... Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No, it's another thing that the Puritans are trying to control everybody's lives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's always these
are the people who got rid of lawn darts, okay?
And
hey, those were fun and deadly weapons. They were cool to play with.
That's why they were fun.
Theo said, "Did you buy the Rolex at the?" Oh no, I thought he was talking to Dave. At the bootlega, and not said the bodega. Yeah, I was actually gonna say I've been in airports that have smoking rooms. And they have them away from like the food areas, in an area where you walk through and there's just like doors and shit and nothing. And there's offices back there or whatever. And they'll have like a smoking room there. Most of the bars I went to in Ohio, they had outside areas, but they were pretty much enclosed. Like there was a fence around it so nobody could walk in and out, and then they had like a cover, and in the wintertime they'd put up plastic, to keep you warm, and people would hang out there. And so, despite all the strict regulations, a lot of bar owners had really tried to be sneaky and accommodate their patrons. So those good old boys that are going to smoke while they're drinking, were accommodated and stuff. And it's
coffee shops too. I used to love having coffee at the coffee shop with a cigarette and stuff. Hell
yeah. And the bad thing, what I don't like about it is you can't even do it outside the coffee shop. They have the whole place no smoking within 25 feet, so you can't even go outside and sit down with your cup of coffee. You have to leave. Which sucks. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, you can't even smoke on the patio.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been spraying pesticides now for a while, and people are really freaked out about that. I realized in the 80s and 90s we had this big freak out. All this data came in about carcinogens, and that's where the anti-smoking movement comes in, and a lot of people who were against, they realized what the pesticides from Monsanto were doing.
Yes.
And so a lot of my customers now are really freaked out about that. And I'll tell you, in the few weeks I've been doing pest control on my own, I've been exposed via skin. I've had this stuff blown on my face. I've breathed it in. And it's very mild. I mean, I'm sure there are long-term effects, but as comparing that to something like smoking is actually much less. And we're not using Monsanto products, to be clear. We're using other environmentally friendly products, but people are freaked out about having it anywhere around their home. What's it going to do to? And I'm like, man, I told one of my customers honestly today, or no, it was a couple days ago. I said, I've been sprayed in the face with it, and it's the same reaction I would get if you were to splash me with some pool water with some chlorine. That's all that happens.
Right.
Don't you think it's a little disingenuous for somebody to say, a corporation to label their product as environmentally friendly pesticide? We're going to kill things in the
What an
environment. You know what the
oxymoron,
most
right?
effective natural pesticide is? You know what the most produced natural pesticide is?
No.
The idea
Caffeine.
is it's actually a repellent and not an insecticide product.
Caffeine?
Caffeine is the most produced natural pesticide. Caffeine's entire purpose in plants is to keep pests away.
Oh, same with nicotine.
Yeah, good question. First, I want to. Oh, sorry. I want to say something about what Doorknob said. Doorknob, we were just talking about that 2 nights ago. We were talking about 3-wheelers, how dangerous they are. Anyways, yeah, and Maya's got a good point. Why isn't anyone concerned about long-term effects?
Because over a long enough term, we're all dead.
Well, that's exactly why. But we're leaving shit behind us to our children and great.
Roundup is.
Well, I guess my point would be I would be much more worried about automobile exhaust and things like that before this stuff. I mean, if you're talking about long-term effects on ourselves as well as the environment.
Well, that's exactly why they changed the way automobiles are made.
Glyphosate attacks the genes in such a way where it wouldn't do anything to humans or animals.
No, Maya, you are not a pest, honey. You are a gift. THC is the best pesticide. Dude, if that was true, I wouldn't have any bugs coming in my house. What are you talking about right now?
Yeah, no, everything in our yard tries to eat the weed plant, so I'm fully in denial of that.
They just want to get a buzz too, It's
hey man, can you hook me up with some of that good green?
THC is nature's get high.
It is.
I mean, deer eat it. All kinds of herbivores love to eat it.
Cats, squirrels, raccoons.
Well, THC is mostly produced near the seeds, so you would actually that would actually be not a pesticide then. It would be an attractant because you would be trying to get things to eat the seeds so that it could transport the seeds around and then spread them through poop.
Oh, that's a great idea. I have a new business model.
Yeah, that's how things used to occur millennia ago.
That's how things still happen today in nature. So
sometimes, yeah.
Could get the bugs to eat the seed and then sell the bugs,
or the
$100
eater,
$100
or the animals, or the whoever.
Did you hear about those guys? I can't remember where it was. Over in the Far East somewhere, and I can't remember the country. They released like 1,000 cockroaches into some guy's restaurant over just some really silly dispute, and had him shut down. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
Oh man, it was. I want to say it was in Mongolia, but I could be totally off on that one. But it was a really great story I heard on a Laughing in Disbelief channel the other day.
That sounds mean.
Well, we were talking with
Yeah, that's really horrible.
We were talking with one woman in the community whose name I won't mention, who's been known to have some scientifically based occupations, and has one child, and I guess is dating somebody from across the ocean. But she's moving out of the current living situation because the parents that are living there have been abusing her badly for years, and it's time to get out or die.
And they're Trumpers.
We were sharing ideas of things you could do just to help them along once you leave.
Put when she moves out, make sure the curtain rods stuff seafood inside the curtain rods.
Yeah. You were there, weren't you?
No, but I know that one usually works pretty well.
Get a hold of 25 field mice and just let them go in the basement. Give enough food for them to survive for a while until they find their way in the house, and they'll make their own passages up in the walls. Because once you have that many mice, you will have mice forever.
Are you saying that there would be tons of mice?
I mean, there really would be a lot of mice.
I bought a house that was built in 1909, and about 6-8 months after I moved in, I found hidden mouse traps, and I had
mice.
that those look like mouse poops, and that kind of stuff. And I finally had a friend of mine who was an exterminator come over, and he guaranteed that I had mice, and he says that I have a situation that the exterminators call archival mice, that they have been living in the building for such a long time and have created such a network of space and movement and storage and living quarters in the building that you will never get rid of them without burning the building down. And sure enough, as I did work in the building in various places, I found caches where there was 5 to 10 pounds of dog food that was stored away. They'd come and steal a couple pieces of dog food at a time and then go stash it up in this area. And now there's tons of it.
Wow.
What's funny, Jenny? My old landlord went around and put those blocks everywhere for they call them pack rats, but really they're just big mice. But there are some rats, although she does not have them. So she put those big blocks all around this mobile home. She had bought it, and it sat for 2 years, and we lost somebody. And Kevin will be back. His internet likes to cut out. So anyways, she put these blocks everywhere, and so me and my brother go in there to start renovating. We go to pull the old furnace out, and there's a pile of those blocks. They didn't kill them. They were stashing them.
Oh, man.
They fucking stashed them. So you know what she ended up doing? She ended up buying an electric mouse trap. And she got some that were like some real pack rats. Like they were like this fucking big without their tail. Like
we hired
8 inches long.
We hired an exterminator because we thought we had mice. Turned out it was birds in the chimney. No, not birds. Oh. Sorry, it was squirrels in the chimney. So
squirrels,
yeah. But they said there looks like there were mice here a long time ago in the attic. So I said, as a precaution, here's a few traps just to see if they're coming back. They're probably not, but let's play it safe. And so he said, we're not supposed to do this, but I'll tell you, the best thing that the mice and rats love the most, makes the traps most effective, is peanut butter.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
people put cheese on mouse traps are stupid. Peanut butter, it sticks really good to it. It'll last a long time.
They love it more than anything.
Yeah.
We haven't caught a single mouse on any of these. The peanut butter's still there, so I got to clear them up one of these days. It's good to know that we're clean.
Yeah, you're probably okay.
Yeah.
The weird thing was many mice, and I could hear them in the walls, 24 hours a day, which really freaked me out.
That'd be terrible.
I woke up screaming a couple of times.
That would be terrible.
Bad. Anyways, I almost never saw a mouse or evidence of a mouse like in the kitchen on the counters or anything like that. They just could tell they were there, but they were there.
It sounds like you need archival cats.
Throw some cats in there. Once they're there for 100 years, the mice will be gone.
Well, I did better than that. I sold the house to a slumlord.
Oh.
Good luck, motherfucker. Thanks for the money.
Slumlord won't care. The slumlord won't care. But good for you getting that house off your hands.
Hey, wait till you find out how bogus that basement repair I did is.
Oh, no. Oh,
looked
boy.
good to you, didn't it, bastard?
The slumlord won't fix it.
Oh, hell no, they're not going to fix it. They're going to rent it to somebody, and then the person's going to bitch after a few months, move out. They'll keep that money, and then they'll rent it out to somebody else, and so on and so forth.
And they'll keep blaming each tenant for the same damage after they do superficial repairs on it. It's a racket.
Oh, absolutely. Jenny, a doorknob said a lady at work was sitting in her living room, and a mouse fell out of the lighting fixture on her ceiling twice.
There's one more comment from him.
I just want to say I don't have big lights above my head because I'm smart.
Oh, doorknob. There's a part 2 to that comment. Yeah.
If you have a hole that is 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch in diameter, a mouse can get through it.
Yes. Yes. They can
collapse
collapse their body. If their head will go through it, they're done. Yep.
Why would tons of mice sitting up in the attic?
I don't know. I was about to say, mice, get the fuck out of the attic of that poor lady. Leave her alone.
Yeah, but tons of mice is here in the chat. We can ask him right away.
That's what I need answers, dude. Seriously, why are you in that woman's attic?
Maybe this proves that tons of mice is not solipsistic.
I have a friend here in Farmlandville who offered me $15 a pop for killing squirrels at her place because they have been invading her house and literally destroying it.
Did you make squirrel stew?
I'll recommend it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I had some friends growing up, and they lived like a mile, almost 2 miles up, mile and a half, 2 miles up the road from us. And I'd go over there on my bike and we'd hang out. And their dad one time said, "Hey, you want to stay for dinner? I got plenty." And I said, "Well, let me call my mom." Wall phone, right? Dial the number. And mom's like, "Sure, stay." And I was like, "Cool." So it smelled really good, man. He made like this chicken stew and it had like carrots and celery and it had potatoes in it. It was spiced right. I mean, this motherfucker could cook. Because his wife...
Yeah. Squirrels are a known good meal.
His wife had been sick for years, and then eventually she ended up dying. But at this point, so he just cooked all the time for the boys and shit.
And
but
there
anyways,
are cultures around the world that eat rats and guinea pigs, and all kinds of small rodents.
So I get down to like the last 2 bites, and he's like, "Did you like it?" And I said, "Yes, sir, Mr. Dennison. That was really good." He said, "I call that Dennison stew." And I said, "Do you?" He said, "Yeah, it's squirrel." And I looked down at the bowl, and I looked up at him, and I looked back down at the bowl, and I had like 2 bites left. I was like, "Fuck it, it hasn't killed me. It tasted good," so I finished eating it. It was really fucking good. Like he'd done that squirrel. I thought it was chicken. I literally thought it was dark and white meat chicken.
I think I'm gonna head out because I am tired.
Yeah, I'm getting off here soon. Anyways, thanks, Sweet, for coming by. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah,
always nice.
Everyone.
Always good
nice talking to you.
Yeah,
always good to see
you later.
See you later.
Bye, Sweet.
Squeaky and Catnip will be diving out of the light fixture and an old woman after the commercial. Stay tuned.
Randolph, I like
Damn
that
it,
you
mice.
got a flag there.
Say that again.
I like it that you have a Canadian flag there.
Better than a blank wall. Yeah. Yeah, when the new studio is ready, the background's going to be much different than what you see now. It'll be more organized.
I remember when they switched to that flag style.
Yeah,
I thought it was way cool. It made me pay attention to Canada from then on.
You know, it's true, Jenny. I don't remember the flag before that one.
It was just this really typical looking flag with bars and shields and all that kind of junk.
Yeah, I think we had like 3 Canadian Leafs going out. One stem.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Something like that. Yeah, there's been different ones too, right? So another one with a lot of lines. Yeah, I like the simplicity of it. I'm not crazy about it just being red and white. I'd like it if there was a bit more color, but I'm okay with it. It's because I grew up with it. Of course, I like it.
I love maples go red. It's such a beautiful shade of red. The yellow ones I'm not impressed, and those are usually invasive Norway maples, anyways.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing you can see that, Jenny.
Yeah, I imagine they could. Protein's protein.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. You just need more mice.
Yeah.
Versus like 20 to 30 pound wild animal. Yeah.
I saw today that one of my eagles living in the neighborhood fledged their young. Well, they only had one this year, but fledged the baby, and I'm pretty darn sure that the baby is a female because she's so huge.
Mm.
Female eagles are much larger than the male.
Yes, they are.
Like giraffes are like that, or the giraffe, it's the male that's bigger.
I don't know. I haven't seen any giraffe around here.
I tell you what you want to do. Get a hold of Esther, the African humanist. She probably will have that answer because she's from that continent.
I wish we could have giraffe here. They're such a beautiful creature. And it seems that they're very, very peaceful and mostly will cohabitate with humans rather well.
So, Randolph, I want to say you got me in a pickle, right? Because I went into the chat and I was like, I'll change Randolph. And then I saw that Mice didn't have a wrench. And I was like, well, let me change Mice too. He's in here all the time. And then I saw DKH, and I felt like I was leaving him. So now I think everybody's got a fucking wrench. Thank you, Randolph. It's all your fault.
Oh.
So all of you guys thank Randolph because he asked me to wrench him, and then I felt like I was leaving other people out. And I love all you guys, and I don't want you to think I was excluding someone.
Oh,
so I just gave everybody a fucking wrench. I don't know.
I only asked privately in the chat so I could post a few links there.
No, I know. It's fine.
Yeah, I was trying to handle it very discreetly.
These are all my good people in here. Yeah. I'm good. They're all my family. I trust all of them.
I'll be right back. I'm going to send you something on Twitter DM.
Okay.
It's good because having a few more people around in case something gets crazy in the live chat, it can be very helpful.
I don't have that problem. I had Otangelo. I had shut up Ox V2 version 2. You're not getting a wrench. Hell with it. What the hell was I saying now?
You haven't, Otangelo.
Oh yeah, he came in and tried to harass us, and we ended up having him on. And we had a conversation, and now he just comes in and says hi. Sometimes he came in tonight, said hi, and he left. So I don't really get a lot of trolls. I don't really worry about it. Really, it's just because people want to put links out and they're sharing information. So I want everybody to know nature's truth. Mice. I do not have an adjustable wrench.
I find Otangelo is generally pretty nice to deal with.
I just told him we're not talking about religion. That's all.
Yeah, and he does get aggressive sometimes with people, and but he's been hanging around with Darth Dawkins a lot lately, and that has me wondering if things might start to change with his approach. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, I hope not. I like him the way he is. I mean, he's hard-headed and he's an apologetic, but, he's a decent guy when you're not talking about that shit.
Yeah, so. He puts a lot of effort into his ideas. and he wants to. It's like he wants to test them in atheism communities, but then not really accept the feedback he gets.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
B, I sent you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look, honey.
I sent you 2 pictures to re-enter our theme of how squeamish Americans are about wanting to eat meat, but then are so picky about what kind of meat they will eat.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll share it. You guys ready for this shit? Oh my goodness. It's so disgusting.
Oh no, really?
Disgusting is not the word. It's somebody's meal.
I mean, it is to me, but I find animals that run around the gutters disgusting. So that's the first one.
All right, what animal is that then?
Is that a rat?
A rat.
No.
Dog? Squirrel?
It's
Flying squirrel.
It's a guinea pig.
Oh, guinea pig.
Oh, well, whatever. It's still a form of a rat.
I'm not good at this stuff. Yeah, I heard all my guesses. I never really guessed guinea pig.
The mice avert your eyes.
And those are rats or mice. One of the two. I'm not sure.
They're mice. I think they're too
Depends
small.
how big they are, I guess. Yeah.
I'm personally not so sure about eating them that way. I don't know that.
Deep fried in fat mice.
Yeah,
Sorry, mice.
I
I'll
would
take back off
be
the screen.
squeamish about eating the head of something like that. Or
They look like potatoes on sticks. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They're corn dogs.
That's interesting.
They do that's what I thought. I was thinking corn dogs personally.
But those things, their environmental footprint is so small compared to beef that Americans insist on having. And why don't we eat horses? You know, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of horses that die each year.
Well, actually, Italy uses used to use horse meat in their spaghetti and stuff.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, my brother ate it one time and he was totally blown away. But I have been told that horse meat can be very tough if you don't prepare it properly. So that might be why. I don't know. Or horses are just too cute and they're luxury pets.
And I'm not trying to intentionally sound ghoulish, but lots of cultures eat cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's just not.
And some
not
will
how I
not
was
eat
raised.
cows that we do. So.
Right.
Yeah,
it's true.
People freak out by that, but the thing is, like in China, you've got a large population, as an example, and there's a history of people just anything that moves in the field, kill it and eat it, and they cook it first, of course. And
yeah,
but it's when it comes down to a matter of survival, that's usually where people will just make a lot of exceptions to their more ivory tower kind of standards.
And I have to say that I would much rather see people eat guinea pig or rat or dog or cat than an endangered species bonobo chimp.
Yeah.
Or
a shark fin.
Or an elephant.
Yeah. Or the fins of a
shark fin. Fin. That makes me so mad that the Japanese do that.
Yeah, and then they just throw the rest of it away.
Yeah.
Well, they're actually they just cut the fins off and let the animal sink, and the animal sinks and eventually dies at the bottom of the ocean, because without their fins they can't swim. Pretty terrible way to die.
Theo said, first of all, Randy said horse meat is stringy. Theo said we still eat horse in Europe. And Purple said they were called guinea pigs because they came from Guinea and the natives served them to Europeans who said they tasted like pork.
Interesting.
Yeah, I hear you, Perp. Yeah, Purple said I've eaten everything in Michigan forest because that's how my grandparents lived. If you could shoot it, you ate it. Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do to survive. That's the bottom line.
Out in the American bush, raccoon, possum are regular meat items on the menu because they're so prolific at breeding.
That's one thing mice we don't do very well with. We're not really good at cannibalism. It makes us really sick.
Yeah, I was just going to make that point. You worded a lot better than I was going to.
I'm not usually the one doing that.
You're just better at describing, to pointing that fact out. So
my thing for my personal level about eating meat is I can't bring myself to eat the meat of something that is given a torturous death, like a lobster. I will never eat lobster just because how they prepare them.
Yeah, it's fucked up how they do that.
Yeah, but I would never ever eat a sentient being like octopus. I will not eat octopus. They're way too smart. Dolphin, never ever. Chimp, well, most primates, never ever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They're thinking creatures. They can look in the mirror and know it's them.
Yes. I mean, cows in the wintertime, there was places 2 winters ago that got snowed that they're not used to. And the farmers had to go out and clear the snow off of the grass because the cows weren't smart enough to move the fucking snow out of the way. But the horses were over there knocking it away with their feet and eating it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good example for you.
I couldn't eat
or their
either because of
hooves. I'm sorry, I said feet.
So I don't know. That's and I'm the more I live out here in the rural and spend time with cows, the more I'm realizing that the cows are awful damn smart. And I've never seen them do the mirror test, but I've certainly seen a mother cow when she's in distress because her calf is not available and she doesn't know where it is.
Yeah.
And how that calf behaves looking for mom, and the terror you can hear in its voice. Where's mom? Where's mom? It's it breaks your heart, really.
Yeah.
I know the sound. I know the sound you're talking about.
It's a horrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just gut wrenching when you hear it. I grew up in the country, so when we heard that, we'd run to find out what happened to the calf. If you heard that, you went and checked your herd because something was wrong with the calf. If a cow was crying like that, it was either it escaped, it was dead, something attacked it. It was something serious going on. So if we heard that out in the country, you got to run out and check because something's happening.
Now sheep, the mother and lamb know each other, but once that thing is weaned, they couldn't care less about each other. They don't seem to be deeply engaged in a social.
That's interesting.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct.
This is just my opinion, just from observing and stuff like that.
No, you're right. Once the calf is off of the teat, it goes off on its own and does its own thing. You're absolutely correct.
No, on sheep. I'm not talking calf. Cows have relationships. Have you seen some of the videos where they let cows out into the field for the first time in spring after a long winter?
Oh, the way they play around and everything? Yes.
It is just unbridled joy.
Oh, yeah. The calves will hop around and jump up in the air, and the cows will run around, and they rub up against each other, and they're just, absolutely.
And why do cows, an entire herd of cows, will come to somebody who's playing a musical instrument at the fence line?
Really?
And they'll just stand there and listen.
That's interesting. So they're enticed by music. How interesting.
It's
any certain kind of music, or does it matter?
The stuff I've heard is they usually done classical and kind of stuff, but I would imagine any music would work.
I would think a hard rock would startle them.
Well, yeah,
maybe much like gunshots.
Maybe not Metallica, but
right. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I'd go with gentle old, some old country or classical or jazz or something. Don't want to be assholes to them.
So
don't want to be assholes.
And dog, I would eat a dog that I don't know, but I certainly could never eat my.
I don't think I could
for survival.
I don't think I could. I think before I may have, if I was hungry enough, I could probably eat a dog, kind of thing. Even now, if the apocalypse hits and there's a fucking dog that's wandering around, that shit might get eaten. But, that's survival and pecking order in that. But after that last job I had, I pet so many dogs in a day. I just couldn't do it now because I've met every kind of dog in that fucking building I worked in. I swear to God, there is everything except for there were no Doberman pinchers allowed. There were no Rottweilers allowed. Just the really big dogs, the really big ones that could be vicious if provoked, kind of thing. But every kind of dog besides that, German Shepherds and Labs and Corgis and a Beagle. The Beagle's name was the Professor, and he was fucking adorable, and he had those big long ears, and he would try to like get low on the ground and shake his ass back and forth and jump around me and stuff, trying to get me to play with him. But he only went down like 2 inches because he was so low to the ground already.
Are you talking Basset Hound?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, the Basset Hound. I did beat a Basset Hound. You're right. I do that all the time. I switch those two. I don't know why.
I've always kind of liked Corgis. I think I've always thought of them as a German Shepherd with a birth defect of short legs.
Yeah, and a cropped off tail, right? It's true. Yeah, this one lady had a Corgi, and his name was Wilson. And let me tell you, or no, I'm sorry, Winston. And Winston was just the sweetest fucking dog. Like he was a big protector of the house. Like, do not fuck with that dog when it comes to Mom. Like, he would stand, if another dog came by, he'd stand right between that other dog and her or people or whatever. He was a very big protector. But once you got to know him, after I went in there a couple times to work on some maintenance stuff in her apartment, and he got to know me, then I'd knock on the door and he'd bark and she'd open it, and he'd try to run out to get to me, and she'd be like, no, stay inside. I'm coming, buddy. I'm coming inside. But all the dogs would do that after I pet them all like once or twice. They'd come right over to me. And one was a big chocolate lab, and he was the hunting version of the lab, not the domestic. So he was a big guy. And he would just pull his owner down the hall to me because she couldn't stop him because he'd get so excited to see me. So happy hump day to you too, Sandy, and sleep well. And I'm glad you could stop by. Thank you so much. So, anyways, I don't know. I don't think I could eat a dog unless I was desperate. I don't know.
There's a couple dogs I'd eat out of spite, but
oh, you want to be a little asshole, huh? Watch me grill you. I'll put you on a spit, motherfucker. No, I'm kidding.
And why can't we eat the fish that we raise in our aquarium?
Because they're too small. You'd have to grow some pretty big fish. And I think some of them aren't edible to us anyway.
Have you seen how big some tropical fish get when they have the environment to grow?
Well, considering I was snorkeling in Mexico with clownfish and doryfish and horse-eyed jacks, and yeah, some of those fuckers get really big when they're not in an aquarium.
Like a grouper. How big a grouper gets? I had no idea until the internet showed me a video of this huge fucking 6-8 foot fish. And we see them as little like algae eaters, you know. But all of those algae eater kinds, if the bigger the environment, the bigger they will get. It's absolutely true. Or a dinner plate size.
Yeah. That's how those horse-eyed jacks were, man. So when I was in Mexico, they had a net around this bay where people could snorkel. It was this big, huge bay. And they had a net around it to keep all the big fish out. So only fish that were of a certain size could get in. But the bad part about that is barracudas are very long and skinny. But anyways, we'll get to that in a second. So we were out there snorkeling, and I saw some dory and some clownfish and some other stuff that I cannot identify that were just beautiful, amazing fish. And there was like a little small reef right there, rocks and some coral and stuff. And we swam around that and stared at them. We saw a bunch of people. They had this floating bridge right across one part of the bay everybody was snorkeling in. And a guy's on there with these little fish just throwing them overboard. So he's attracting all these fish, but they don't care about us because we're humans. We're too big for them to eat, but they're not going to run away because they know they're getting fed. So there was like, I don't know, 1,000 horse-eyed jacks in this one area, and there was like 18 to 20, maybe 15 to 20 people. We were all just swimming through them. And the coolest thing about it was, I have to get on camera for this. The coolest thing about it is I'm in the water, and I noticed every time somebody moved, or if you tried to touch them, they would just move around your arm. Like on Finding Nemo. Like they literally would just do that and just make a pocket for you. So I'm sitting there in the water, and I'm treading water, and I do this. And then I tread water again, And then I do this. And they just moved around my body. I never touched one of them. As fast as I could move in the water, I could not touch one of them. They would just move around you. It was the coolest fucking thing. Besides almost touching a leatherback turtle. That was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my life when it came to water. It was amazing. Just, oh my God. I missed the turtle by that much. I almost pet it.
Oh, I had a great little one today. I was on my way home, and I took an unusual route that I don't usually take, and it takes me past some marshy land, which is, of course, just all over the place in this area. And in the middle of the street, there was this huge lump. It looked like maybe 2 feet in diameter. This huge lump of moss and algae and vegetation and shit just sitting there. And as I approached it to pass by it, it moved. It was a gigantic snapping turtle that had just all this shit that had grown on him over the decades. He had to be an ancient creature to be that big and have that much growth on him. It was quite amazing, and
that's crazy.
I just kept driving. I didn't stop to protect him because it was a very seldom used road.
Huh.
And he was more than halfway across, so I figured it'd be okay.
That's crazy, though. Purple said I got to pet dolphins once. Purple, I got to do that too. And at the same time, when I was down in Mexico for 2 weeks, they, because when you go on those touristy areas, all of the big timeshare resort guys will come over and be like, "Oh, we'll give you this free if you come and check out our, timeshare." And they feed you and everything. And they know that like 90% of the people are going to walk out there and they ain't buying shit. Everybody wants those fucking free tickets because the shit's expensive. They'll give you tickets for stuff. Like the thing with the dolphins, it was like $100 each or $105 each or something. And they gave us tickets for it. We didn't have to pay for it. So we got to get in this pool with the dolphins, and they talk to you first. And everybody's got the floaty vest, whatever things, life preserver vests on. And they talk to you about how to handle them, and then they bring one over, and then they bring another one and another one. And then they're just swimming around you, and you could just stand there and do this, and they're all around you, and you're just petting them as they just go right past you, and they'll just rub up against your hand because they love to be pet.
What does their skin feel like?
That's hard to explain. Like a really, really thick rubber that's absolutely 100% pliable. Huh. And slick, and almost like it has a texture to it, but not quite. It's almost totally smooth, but there's just a little bit of texture to it. It's strange. I've never felt anything like it in my life. And when I first touched one, I was like, "That's weird."
And did the male dolphins try to fuck anybody?
No. They were just all swimming around cool. It was fun. So after we got to play with them for a little bit, they had us all line up at the end of this pool. Was like, I don't know, 100 feet long or something like that. It was a long, big ass pool, and it was only like 30 feet wide. So it was this really long, skinny pool. So they have you lay on your stomach and put your feet together and put them just so they're right at the water line. And so you're sitting there with your feet down like this on your belly with your arms out. And the dolphin comes up behind you and hits your feet with his beak and pushes you up into the air. And so you're flying across the water.
Oh, cool.
And so he only got one of my feet, and my other foot was free. So I got one leg out, and I'm trying to balance on this fucking dolphin's beak. I swear to God, this is a true story. People believe me. So, and there's some kids there. There's like people with kids there. There's probably like 5 or 6 kids. There's like 20 of us all together doing this. And the whole way down the pool until I finally lost my balance and he dropped me. Because they just drop, they'll go so far and then they just stop and take off and leave you, let you drop in the water. So right all the time I'm going, shit! I had it on video. And then I left it behind when I left my ex. I really wish I'd remembered to bring that CD with me. They recorded everybody doing it. It was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun. Purple, come in here and tell us about your dolphin shit. Got to pet dolphins at the Minnesota Zoo. Didn't get to go in the water with them. We hung around after a show, cleared out, and talked to the trainer, and they came right up and asking us to. Oh, that's great. See, but that's. You didn't even know you were going to be able to do that. That's great. That's priceless. It's like a surprise. Like, I knew we were going to do it because she was totally into dolphins. And I was like, whatever. I'll go. Yeah, why not? That sounds cool. But then I got in the water with them and I was like a child. I was just like touching them. They feel so cool. They're so sweet. And they just rub up against you, swim by you, rub up against somebody else. So the only rule was we weren't allowed to grab them by their mouths and we weren't allowed to touch the blowhole. Don't put your finger in there. That was the rules. So, yeah, it was good.
I've always wanted to have an aquarium of local fish, like bluegills and
right,
crappies and sunfish and those kind of things. I mean, it'd be neat to have like northern pike or muskies in there, but those are really, really big.
Yeah, they are. They need more room than that. You'd get them as babies, and they'd never get as big as you think. Actually.
We had a 12-year-old kid locally who caught a 6.5-foot sturgeon the other day.
I put a link in, Purple. You didn't see? Did it not go? You try it again. I thought I put a link in for you. Am I losing my mind? It's up there. You just missed it, silly. Yeah, no, come on in. Dave used to have tropical sharks in an 80-gallon tank. My ex was really into fish, and the one that liked dolphins, and we had I want to say it was like might have been a 70-gallon. It was pretty good size tank, and she had some. Oh my God, I can't remember all of them, but we had some of those algae eaters that you were talking about, Jenny. And one of them we got 2 of them. They were like this big. One of them died. And the other one lived, and when her and I split, that fucker was this long in like a year. It was huge.
You know, Plecostomus?
I don't know. Is that what they call them?
Yeah. There's two types that are out there. One is a very catfish who has whiskers on its mouth. They're usually brown.
Yes, that one. Normal
fish shape. And a Plecostomus is this very long and flattish kind of fish with the huge sucker lips in the front where it will actually attach to the glass and stuff like that.
Right, because one of them has it more on the front, one of them has it more on the bottom, right?
Yeah, Plecostomus is more bottom, and they're typically grayish, blackish, and look very prehistoric.
Yes. Now I'm thinking she might have had one of each.
Those suckers can get a couple of feet long.
I think that was the one that was like, I think he was like 8 inches long or something when her and I split. But he was huge, and we got him as a baby.
There was this aquarium shop local back in Milwaukee. It was actually in Wauwatosa, a suburb. And it was 24 inches long. A piranha.
Fuck that. Nobody needs a piranha that size.
One of my dream trips is to go to Australia because there's a cove there that the wild dolphins come in to play with people.
Really?
Yeah, so it's entirely up to the dolphins. They come and go as they like.
That's awesome. That's great. That's why I like that place in Mexico then, because they just kept a net there so the big fish wouldn't get in and hurt people is all they were doing. But the smaller fish, they had free run. And they would feed them and, just to attract them in, and people got to look at stuff. So it was like a win-win situation. You got to look at them, and they would feed them and they got fed. So it was everybody won. But I mean, they wouldn't let you like fuck with them or anything. I'm sure they'd probably have you arrested down there if you did that.
Yeah, and if you want to see how big some fish can grow in aquariums, you need to watch some of Junk Shop's stuff.
Oh, that's right. He does.
Harmonic Man's mentioning that he's got one of the Plecostomus, but he's also got one of those. I forget the real name, but they call him an Oscar.
Yeah, an Oscar. That's what I've always called him.
And it's like, those stupid things will grow until they can no longer turn around in their tank.
Yes. Yes, and they will also eat whatever is in your tank if you don't have the right stuff in with them.
Yeah, I had an Oscar. His name was Meyer. He was my Oscar Meyer.
You know what, Jenny?
Yeah.
I just have to do it. It was horrible. Funny as hell, though. I never get to kick you.
If you had an Oscar, you should have named him Hormel.
Ooh, that would be good, too.
Okay, but I'll go along with it.
I really like that fish. I would feed it goldfish, small goldfish, and if I had a party, I would feed it neon tetras, because they're more of a party fish.
Yeah, they really are. That's horrible. They inject that shit into them. That's not natural, folks.
No. The neon tetras are natural. There are glow-in-the-dark fish that are artificial.
Oh, the glow-in-the-dark. Okay, my bad. Glow-in-dark ones. I knew there was one time we saw
neon
the fish shop one
tetras
day.
Actually live wild in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, okay. So it's the glow-in-the-dark ones that are injected with it. Okay.
No, there are zebrafish that naturally are iridescent.
These were tetras.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. They had different tanks of them. They had these, because people would buy them for fun, and some people bought them for feeder fish. So they had big tanks of them, and they just reach down in there and scoop them out. And if there's any dead ones, they take them out and throw it away or whatever.
There are some now that do naturally glow in the dark, and those are. I'm not sure what the process, but they're somehow genetically engineered to do that.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, see, back then, so they must have been talking about glow in the dark. I thought he meant all of them, when he was telling us that. Yes, angelfish as well. They will kill shit really fast. Oscars will just eat shit. So we had neon tetras, and my ex had bought I want to say it was kind of like a big ass goldfish. It wasn't one of the small goldfish.
Yeah,
it was one of the ones. What is it called?
Well, goldfish are just a species of carp.
Right, but they were the ones that get...
the Asian carp are the giant goldfish.
Okay, and they have like the weird eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the golf balls sticking outside their head.
Yeah, so we bought that because they told us they were non-aggressive. They're goldfish. No, that fucker ate all our goddamn tetras.
Well, and
we thought they'd be fine because we had a whole system where he couldn't get to for the tetras to be in, logs, and they could go all across the whole tank and never be out there with him. And he still fucking ate them all in like 2 or 3 days.
That doesn't mean he's vicious. That just means he's a fish that eats that is a predator.
Apparently, we got the wrong kind of food. He was like, "Nah, bitch, I'm gonna eat these fish because I don't like that kind of food." I don't know. Maybe I should have bought something besides Tetra brand. No, I don't know. I don't know what we had.
I used to breed Siamese fighting fish, betas.
Yeah.
Those were cool. Those are fun to breed. It's neat to watch them fuck. The male, once it's done beating the fuck out of the female, wraps itself around her and squeezes her, squeezes eggs out, and fertilizes them and puts them up into little nests and weeds and stuff that you let float on top of the water.
What does that?
The betta fish, those fighting.
Really?
Siamese fighting fish, yeah.
I've never seen the mating.
I've never seen any two in the same container together because they're fucking crazy and they'll fight each other.
Yeah, you can't have two males together.
And
is that what it is?
Well, you can't have the female together with them either. Once they fucked, you separate them again.
Yeah, because then they'll try to kill each other, right?
And he will certainly eat the babies if he's around for them.
Give me my babies, bitch!
That's for most fish, actually.
Yeah, and somehow they survived.
Yeah, well, so many of them, at least. I still think the coolest thing in the world is the shit.
Most fish manage to
to
survive because they have like 300 babies, and they can only manage to eat 250.
Those 50 are living strong.
I like how you put that.
For sure.
I always liked growing. I don't know the genetic. What is the family name or whatever, but the platies and the swordtails and guppies are technically in that group too. The live bearing tropical.
Right.
They're just so cool. How I had when I was a kid and I got my first ones, I had no idea what a live bearing fish was, and all of a sudden there's babies in the tank, and it was like, what the fuck?
In defense of the fish, after raising teenagers, I can understand why many animals eat their young.
Yeah, right. Oh, I was thinking of seahorses.
Oh
yeah. No one has ever seen a seahorse give birth. Like, look it up on YouTube. It is the coolest shit. And first and second of all, I want to say, not only is it is that like a live birth kind of thing, but it's the male.
Yeah.
The male spits them out.
The female
spits them out almost like he's coming. Like,
yeah. Well, no, the male has a pouch like a kangaroo.
Yes.
And the female deposits her eggs in the pouch.
Right.
But yeah, then when they get too big, it looks like he's just like belching and popping them out.
Yes, that's what it's like belching. Yes. Perfect.
I've seen it in nature documentaries.
I love how
it's pretty cool
and beautiful.
Night, Randy.
The horsefish, whatever.
Seahorse.
Seahorses, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Seahorses, yeah.
Yeah, they remind me of mantises of the sea.
Huh.
Ornate and diverse they are.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. My fiance and I used to love to watch nature documentaries together, and we'd constantly like be pausing it and rewinding it to see a bit, and then we'd stop it and we'd discuss that bit, and it took us an average of 3 hours to watch a 1 hour documentary.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's great that you have that compatibility with somebody to be able to do that.
That was the first thing that we bonded on, was really just the love of learning. Not necessarily that it had any purpose, but just information about the world around us.
See, I like
absorbing it. Yeah.
Our public television station doesn't. I imagine others do too. Like they'll have on nature or some nature-oriented program, and then they'll have it on again about 4 or 5 hours later, and then again 4 or 5 hours after that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I like watching them straight through the first time, and then I would take time to watch them and stop them and pause and.
Yeah, that became common for a lot of channels to do that in like 4 hour cycles in order for, people on both coasts to be able to watch them during prime time.
I remember the old 3-channel days, black and white and eventually color.
Oh, yeah. I remember, growing up in the Chicago suburbs, that we only had, the 3 channels. We had ABC, CBS, NBC.
Yep.
And then probably when I was like 10 years old, we got the adapter set-top box to get UHF, which if you played with it long enough, you could get 2 additional channels.
Night Cadence.
See, we never had one of those. We were able to get UHF just off the set. It had a UHF dial. and you turn the main dial to U.
Well, yeah, you got
Then you
those
turn the other leather.
You got those newfangled sets that were made in the 70s.
Yeah, and they were real. No, this is the 60s. But
I remember
it was real
both.
hard to tune in. There was no clicks on the UHF. It was just continuous friction tuner.
I remember it was a huge deal when I finally got my own TV set in my bedroom, 13-inch black and white set, because somebody was giving it away.
It's amazing. I never had one as a child. That's all we had out in our living room was a 13-inch black and white. It was so portable.
Well, you know, we were the poor family in the rich suburbs, so I got stuff that
gave you
neighbors
shit.
gave up.
That's awesome.
My
Good
family
for you.
did not get a color TV until 1971, and never had a second TV in the house until my dad was like 81, and he just didn't want to have to get up to go a different room to watch TV.
Yeah, well,
we got our color
first
TV
color
in
set was
76.
somewhere in the early 70s.
I think we got ours in 76. I want to say I was 5. I might have been 6. Might have been 77.
It's amazing. Yeah. Flat screen TVs. They promised them when we were kids, and you didn't believe it. Then all of a sudden, boom! Everybody's got one now.
Yeah. There's going to be a TV in every home. We're like, sure, nobody can afford that. Now people have 5.
Everybody laughed at me in 1982 when I said that by the time my kids were grown, computers would be as common as TV sets.
Oh, did you say that? Nice.
Yep. I said that in 82 when everybody thought it was a joke.
Not a joke.
What's a computer?
Well, that was when I got my first Commodore 64.
Commodore 64. Oh, yes.
Can you believe
I remember the days. Slide the cartridge in, wait 6 hours, you could play a game. And you didn't want to turn it off because you're like, no. If I turn this off and change it, we're going to have to wait 6 hours for it to load again.
Yeah, well, that was if you could afford the cartridges. All I could afford was the data cassette drive.
Honestly, I didn't have any of it. I had a friend that had it, and I'd go over to her house, and I'd go to hang out on like a Sunday, and I'd come over, and she'd say, which game you want to play? And I'd tell her, and she'd load it up, and then we'd go have coffee and eat breakfast and go shopping. And then we'd come back to the house and I'd play for a couple hours and then we'd have dinner and then I'd go home.
Yep. Right.
Like that was the entire day trying to play that game.
I remember typing in the programs out of the computer magazines and saving them on cassette tapes.
Yeah. Right.
What kind of programs? What would they do? Oh, this one does it makes a list.
Well, a lot of them were games, but yeah, the first word processor I ever got to use was a Speed Script from the Compute magazine. So it was an entire functional. It was actually a fairly decent word processor, but yeah, it was like 8 pages of typing to get it in.
I still think the best word processor I have ever used was the Apple software called McWrite. It was extremely simple. It made the computer screen and the computer behave just like a manual typewriter.
Wow.
Okay, with the way the tabs work, the way you advance the paper, and just it was like exactly like a typewriter. It was a perfectly natural progression from old tech to new tech.
I imagine that would have made it a very easy transition for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was absolutely painless. And it went through several iterations and finally got more advanced. And people always said, oh, no, Word is so much better. It's got so many more features. Yeah, but not everything needs to have all the features on the planet. Sometimes something just this simple is good for introducing people to bring them into
WordPerfect actually is better than Microsoft Word. They have a feature called Reveal Codes. You can't get that in MS Word. There's people who say, oh, you can turn on hidden characters. WordPerfect has that too. That's a different feature than Reveal Codes.
WordPerfect still exists?
Yes, and it's currently sold by a company called Corel. But unfortunately, I just really don't see it very much in the industry anymore. Most people are on either LibreOffice or Microsoft Office. And while the majority are on the Microsoft one, there is a gradual move toward the free LibreOffice, LibreOffice.org, in case anybody's wondering. It's actually a really decent package. It'll read and write all the Microsoft and WordPerfect files, no problem. And it's free, open source software.
Yeah, what I use is a real nice open source program, Apache Office.
Yeah, that's the Open Office one.
Yeah.
The complaint I have about the Open Office community is that when I gave them suggestions, they told me to go take a hike unless I want to program it myself. All I was doing was giving them feature suggestions, and without any priority on it or anything. Just here's a nice feature to put on the list, right? The LibreOffice people are a lot more receptive to this and welcome the suggestions. So I switched over there, and the user interface for LibreOffice is more user-friendly as well. The OpenOffice, Apache Office one is a bit crude. So it doesn't satisfy the users. The users want things that look nice and are easy to use. So I've been putting LibreOffice on my clients' machines. They're basically the same code base, but LibreOffice focuses a little more on the end users.
You think they have a mobile version?
I believe they do. Just take a look, search for this, or
Okay, I'm not familiar with the LibreOffice, but I've liked OpenOffice, but I've only used it in a fairly basic mode. I haven't tried to use advanced features in it.
It's a fantastic package. It's just my experience in dealing with the team behind it a few years ago was less than satisfactory. So I moved on to LibreOffice, which satisfied my needs, and it's been great.
Okay.
So
I have OpenOffice. I use it instead because they want to charge me like whatever money. I'm like, I can't afford that. So I went looking and saw some pretty good reviews for OpenOffice. Although I feel like it's not quite what it should be, but it's getting there.
There are functions of it that I get frustrated with.
That's what a lot of people say, and then they end up going to LibreOffice. So, and then
I already clicked on it, and I have the tab on here, so I can check it out.
Hold on.
What?
Both are good packages. Both are excellent.
Hey, cut it out. I asked for just a little quiet here.
Oh, sorry.
Simply Secular. Yes, I am somebody who's never been able to afford cable, and I use only the over-the-air signals. Unfortunately, in my geographic location, all the signals from the CBS and the NBC station are blocked by geography, and all I get is ABC, Fox, 2 Independence, 2 sub-channels, how they have sub-channels nowadays, and 4 from public television, 2 of which are children's programming.
You guys, I got my second troll. Aren't you proud? I'm moving up in the world.
Yeah, I've only had one troll so far, and he only showed up for 2 episodes, and then he went away because I told him whether or not his God existed was irrelevant to me.
Right. I don't know. His name was Wesley Curry II.
Yeah, I see that.
And he said something about we're going to get barcodes and we need to find God, so I just put him in timeout. You can at least come in and say hi first. If you want to come in and say hi and join the conversation, I'm totally cool with that, but we do not sit around talking about God because we have other things that are interesting us.
Yeah,
like
a lot of other things.
But you've got the word atheist in the title, so.
And things that exist.
Like Commodore 64s and OpenOffice and LibreOffice.
Yeah, Jenny, I didn't realize you were so limited. I should just assume that, that you could at least get the over-the-air stations from Rochester.
Nope, Rochester's too far away. If I were to put an antenna up on the roof, a 10-foot antenna or something like that, I could probably get Rochester. Because I'm on cable.
I had at one time considered moving to Blue Earth, Minnesota, just because due to its location over the air, you could pull in the PBS stations from 4 different cities.
That's neat.
I am an hour away from a large city and 35 minutes away from a smaller city that used to be a town. And I bought an antenna when you guys know, when I disappeared for like a while, there was like 3 weeks or almost a month that I had no internet, maybe a little longer. So I went and spent $25 at Home Depot and got an antenna, and I get like 20 some odd channels. I don't even use it right now, but I get like 20 some odd channels on it. So if I wanted to actually like watch a show or the news, I could pretty much get everything, all the basic channels.
One of the things that I really like about Minnesota is that people take PBS TV seriously.
Yep.
And if you watch the credits in a lot of shows you see on PBS, you'll see WTTW Minneapolis.
Right.
But, one of the first things I saw was that even back in the 80s, Minneapolis had 2 PBS stations. And I don't know if it's true anymore, but 10 years ago, it was rated as having the highest viewer sponsorship of any TV station, any PBS station in the country, which was at 17%, which still only means 1 out of 6 people who were watching it actually paid for it. But that was still the highest in the country.
Well, and this being in this area that I'm in, I don't know what your reception is like up there, but we can get Minnesota and Wisconsin Public Radio, and both of them, those organizations are produce tons of original material and that are what do they call that? Sequenced out to other.
I haven't really tried it here, but in St. Paul, kind of, depending on weather patterns and cloud bounce and so forth, that I could sometimes pull in the NPR stations from Eau Claire and from Des Moines, Iowa.
Nice.
Des Moines. Wow.
Or maybe it wasn't Des Moines, but it was some city in Iowa.
Huh.
Sioux City?
Wisconsin Public Radio is amazing. They have, like, I think 11 stations statewide. They all overlap by just enough that you can drive from one end to the other of the state in any direction and be on public radio for the whole.
Well, and one of the things I liked about the NPR station from Minneapolis was that they would go off the air at like midnight or 1 a.m., but instead of just shutting down, they would just open the relay to BBC World News.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I used to go to sleep listening to BBC World News every night.
Nice.
BBC Radio has some really fascinating programs. They had one.
Yes, they do.
That I forget the name of it. I think the name was just Elemental or something like that.
Yep.
And each week they spend an hour talking about one specific element. And
what's that? Elements of Surprise? Is that the one you were thinking of?
It might have been. I don't recall anymore.
Yeah. Actually, I've got a number of episodes of those saved on CDs here somewhere.
It was just spectacular how much detail they would get into, and another program about industry and stuff that went into huge depth about glass making and mirror making, and all this kind of stuff. With American radio, outside of public radio, is just really missing the boat with how fascinating stuff can get without pictures.
Yeah. A lot of the, not just science shows, but they had some really interesting shows about mathematics.
That I would never want to listen to.
Well, and that's everyone's reaction. But if you sat down and listened to 2 episodes with me, I think you would want to hear the whole series.
Yeah, maybe. I won't.
The actually interesting form of it?
Yeah. Well, they actually relate it to things in the real world that make you go, huh, that's why that happens.
Right. Yeah, it's nice when you can understand what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, and that was the whole thing, that it actually shows you that mathematics isn't just this abstract philosophy, that it has real world applications that can affect your life.
Fair enough.
Like I tried to add 2 + 2, and I came out with 5, and my garage fell down.
Oops.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God, Jenny.
That's what happens when you try to use 2x5 studs.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
I usually use the ones that are like, what is it? Approximately like 18 to 20 inches across, 5 to 6.5 feet tall studs. Never mind.
Don't you have to treat them so they don't rot and smell bad?
Well,
No,
yes.
I just wash my ass. Nobody got that. It's fine.
Yeah, I did.
I'm tired. I'm going to bed soon anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, you said that 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know, but I love you guys, and you're having a good talk, and I don't want to quash it. And everybody's having fun in chat.
Yeah, you're trying to give Neil a run for his shutdowns.
Oh God, no. The longest I've ever gone, I went 3 hours and 58 minutes one time. And I didn't realize I had 2 minutes to go, or I would just want to made it even 4, but that's all right. I wasn't really going for anything. We were just talking about everything, and different people were coming in and out, and that conversation just kept on fucking going.
I like how shows that have after shows like Neil's.
Yeah.
That if they're in our generalized or extended community, that it's like there's this group of people that are the after show panel people.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the ones that they hop around from channel to channel and hang out in the after shows. Yeah.
I used to be a regular on Neil's, but just scheduling, I haven't been able to get into them for a while now. Although, Randolph, I do take exception to your title there, because I would not use normal to refer to anyone I consider a friend.
Fair enough, Burps.
Yeah. It's a reflection
Normal's
on the
overrated.
Normalized Atheism campaign. It's a reflection on the Normalized Atheism campaign.
I know what you meant. I know that's your big thing.
Rachel, I feel like you need to go seek some help, probably from an ophthalmologist, and get your eyes checked. But thank you. I appreciate that.
What happened with Rachel's eyes?
She called me a stud going along with what I said, and I said she needed to get her eyes checked.
That's probably a pun on the wooden stuff you were talking about. Yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah. I'm just being goofy, that's all. I am just being goofy.
Yeah, Diana said on Twitter she was going to see the ophthalmologist. And I said that's the doctor you go to see. That's the doctor that if you can see him, you don't need to.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I mean, but you'd have to say clearly. Because I could see my optometrist, or actually, an optometrist is somebody who does like reading glasses and stuff. An ophthalmologist leans more towards surgery.
Yeah.
So there is a difference, but no, they both do eyes. But
an ophthalmologist, I think an ophthalmologist is an actual MD as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. An ophthalmologist is if you've got a more intensive condition than just nearsighted or farsighted.
Yeah,
cataracts.
There are people who are doctorates of optometry. That just means that they're really, 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 really smart about fitting glasses. Like Senator Rand Paul, who likes to call himself Dr. Paul, and then tell all these bullshit lies about medicine and transgender people and stuff.
Wait a minute, he calls himself a doctor, Jenny?
Uh-huh.
He doesn't know I know more shit in my pinky about... Never mind.
What is Dr. Peel's degree in?
Dr. who?
Dr. Peel, Ray Comfort's inflatable banana.
Oh, I'm not sure. Mushy contents? I don't know.
Yeah, I think Ray Comfort's just upset that the banana got the degree before he did.
Well, it deserved it. Bananas are tasty.
I think the banana did more homework.
And what are we going to do when the Great Banana Plague gets out of hand?
There's a banana plague now?
And we no longer have bananas available.
Oh, we'll have to get Ray Comfort involved. Oh no, he's switched.
It'll be the same thing they did in the 50s. We'll just be switching to a different variety because the fungus that's infecting them, does seem to be specific to that one variety. Oh. Unfortunately, something like 97% of the banana trees in South America are all clones of the same tree.
Yeah, exactly.
But
we're going to lose bananas for a period of years until
right. Yeah, this happened in the 50s, that it pretty much wiped out all the plantations and they had to regrow with a new variety. And this is why if you get things like, banana flavored candies don't taste like bananas, because they're actually formulated to taste like the bananas from the 50s. And that's why they don't taste like anybody thinks a banana tastes like now.
I love artificial
because the companies have never bothered to reformulate the artificial flavoring.
Mm-hmm.
Artificial banana flavor and artificial cherry, maraschino cherry flavor are the two best fake fruit.
Oh no, the artificial banana I can't stand because it does not taste like anything else I've ever tasted.
Oh, I love them both.
Some people have been talking about how after they've been infected by COVID-19, there's been a slight permanent change to their perception of taste.
In some cases, not so slight. Apparently, they lose it entirely if they get a severe case, and it begins to come back a couple of months later.
Chantix can actually do stuff like that, taste and smell. And I know a guy, he's a paramedic, a many year paramedic, and he was a smoker, and he was like, I'm going to take this new thing, this Chantix stuff, and he quit smoking, and he did it. He doesn't smoke, and he can't smell a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Which can be good if somebody shits their pants, but when there are lots of signs of serious diseases you can tell by your smell. So if you lose your sense of smell, you'll miss stuff with patients. Anyways,
also, people should be aware that if you're one of those Americans who think more is better, do not think that way if you're taking zinc, because zinc will permanently wipe out your ability to smell and therefore taste.
Wow.
Yeah, B. Melzebub had the COVID a couple of months ago, and he's been commenting about that it has permanently changed his taste.
Yeah, he's wondering if it's been affecting other people, and that's a good question to ask. It's I feel sorry for him because that's he's had a rough go of things there.
Well, it kind of scares me because with the chronic sinuses, I only have a sense of smell for about maybe a random 6 days out of the year.
You didn't contract COVID-19, did you?
No.
No, okay.
No, this is just chronic sinuses that I've had since I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Purple, I love the days when my sinuses are clogged up because I'm a super smeller, super taster person, and you just don't want to smell some things. I'm telling you, I've walked behind people in stores. I have drove past someone in a, you know how they have those plazas around the town, you got to drive real slow, and I could smell somebody's body odor in the car going by me.
Yeah.
I get that.
I smell everything, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
I smell when women don't clean themselves, and they walk past me.
There was a guy I used to carpool with, and it's like, even if he had showered like an hour before he got into the car, he still had a very musky, manly odor.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really off-putting to me. I just,
Herb, you haven't started HRT yet. When are you going to start?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yep, I've been on it for, I think this is 11 days now.
Oh, okay. One of the most pleasing effects that you get, and it seems to take a long time for it to really firmly plant in a person, is your body odor completely changes.
Yep.
You lose all this just horrible, acrid, sweaty stink that men have.
Actually, that's something that women have always commented on all my life, is that I never smelled like a man.
That's funny because when I get hot and sweaty, I smell like a dude, and my testosterone's high for a woman.
Apparently for me, even after, even when I was doing, heavy building work, like building a deck out in the hot sun and sweating all day, they still said I didn't smell like a man.
Yes, Maya, it is a curse, and especially when you're an EMT and you pick up old sick people, and you take them to the emergency room and they shit on the cot in front of you, and your whole entire rig smells like that for like hours. Yes, it's
drive with the windows open only does so much.
Moral, or not moral, but
fact.
An ultimate hovering test thrust upon me. I had to piss so fucking bad, and I was in the park. Well, it was today during your damn show, Perp. and so I had to go to the porta potty that was there, and I opened the door and hear the entire seat somebody took a shit on.
Oh, disgusting.
It really was. But I didn't have a choice. I had to piss. And it was one of those where I had to hover without touching anything, not the support for your legs, nothing.
Yeah, porta potties are repulsive in the best instances.
It was just everywhere. And I succeeded. I did it, but oh geez, it was really hard on my knees and stuff. Oh God, who does that shit? Who does that stuff?
Yeah.
What is wrong with people?
I grew up in the country. I've pissed behind so many bushes and trees, and when I was a truck driver, I'd have to stop, and some truck stop would be closed down, and they'd have the whole thing shut off, so I'd have to like piss beside my truck. Yep. I've peed all over I-80, all across the United States. I don't know how many times. I've marked all of I-80. It's mine.
Dave is teasing with banana bread.
I know, that bastard.
I know.
Hey, purple rhymes with orange. You're mentioning about the snoring. Have you consulted with a dental surgeon?
The snoring? No.
Okay, because they can do x-rays and
I have problems with my sinuses, not with snoring.
Oh, okay. They might still be able to give you some insight there. I don't know.
But yeah, they've done scans. I have actually, I have a pretty good idea what the COVID test must be like, because I have actually had them shove a camera up my nose into my sinuses.
Ew.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant feeling.
I'm sure it is not. I've never had it done, but I've seen it done, and I'm sure it is not pleasant. It really, you can see it going up the nostril because it's so fucking big. That's gotta hurt.
I mean, they've gotten a lot better with the fiber optic cameras.
Oh, have they?
So it's not really that bad. It's kind of like the air hose from your fish tank being shoved up your nose.
But still, who wants to do that?
Well,
seriously. Ox, I got a funny story for you. When I used to work at the big chicken farm, the egg farm, the guy would come by and clean the porta potties. And where we worked out by the shop, when I worked on one side of the facility before I moved, the guy would come over, and right inside our wash bay was the porta potty. And so he'd come and clean it, and I'd go, no, motherfuckers, me first. And I'd go take a shit before any of the guys got to it, because it was the cleanest it was ever going to be. And I can actually wipe off the seat and put my ass down on it because he disinfected it.
Yeah, that is one of the jobs you could not pay me enough to do.
Agreed.
Was cleaning out the porta potties after an event.
That's why I don't do used plumbing. I will put in new plumbing. I will not pull out old plumbing if it's anywhere near a toilet. Nope.
I've had to do that with replacing toilets and the attached pipes.
When I worked at Road America, I worked turn 10, which is off in the carousel. It's pretty much the most inaccessible corner station on the track. And the porta potty they had there sometimes didn't get changed on schedule. And I had a period where 3 weeks it didn't get changed, and it was in the middle of race season, so there was lots of events and lots of people working corner 10, and it got so bad. I don't want to get too gruesome about describing it, but if I say the word pile, I'm not exaggerating. Okay,
I know exactly. Yes, I've seen it.
And I finally had to call my boss. Carson, and just Carson, I'm not a whiner and complainer, but this something has got to be done. And I emailed him a picture of it, and he was, man, did he hit the roof? You know, we pay these fucking people thousands of dollars a week to, you know, keep our.
Yeah, if you're paying for it, you damn well better be getting the service.
And he says, and they have specific orders to do the great job on the corner workers stations, because, you know, we're kicking our ass for damn near nothing, no money.
Right. No shit.
And a guy was there within a half an hour.
I don't give a shit what you're doing, Fred. Get over there now.
Yeah. We're going to lose a multi-million-dollar contract if you don't clean that son of a bitch.
Well, you know, in Upper Michigan, when I was growing up, there were a lot of the houses in the urban areas there that, you know, the city sewer lines just didn't run out that far. So a lot of them had, you know, just pit privies, just dug out houses.
Yep.
So my grandparents' house was like that until the mid-'70s.
Me and my ex stayed at a campground one time, and they had the outhouse bathrooms, and man, we just were in the wrong spot. We figured out why there was no one around us really fast, and why nobody rented that spot. The wind would come over the hill and blow through the porta potty building and right to our campsite.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking horrible. And I'm telling you, every time when the guy came to clean it, we made like this big, huge meal because it finally didn't stink, and we fucking ate like all of our food that we didn't eat because we were so grossed out.
I'm really pleased that Road America is slowly, over time, converting all of their toilet facilities, you know, whether they were porta potties or an outhouse, into real live flushable.
Oh yeah,
stall facilities. They built them. Oh man, the first one that they built was like 20 stalls. Okay, air conditioned, heated building. You know, really clean floors, a very high ceiling. It was just absolute luxury for a racetrack toilet. It was just amazing.
Right.
And now they're slowly doing it to the entire track. It's, you know, it's expensive. Racing does not make a lot of money for the tracks and stuff. Yeah, the money goes to the race teams. It doesn't go to the tracks.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen, you know, at some of those road tracks, my cousin used to do stock car racing.
Oh yeah.
You know, and there wasn't any race team. It was him and his buddies maintaining the car. That was it.
Yeah. Exactly. And they painted everybody's name on the car because it's all you could do to pay them. Here, I'll put your name on the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You know, and actually one of the guys on his crew was only on the crew because they found the same make, model, and year of car in his field that they could take parts from.
When I started in racing, okay, the first time I drove Road America was 1972. And in those days, a race team was, you know, just the owner of the car, a few of their buddies. They'd come and they'd pitch a tent. They'd have a couple toolboxes that are like hand carryable, and you'd go through the whole weekend like that. You know, campfires and beer and just, you know, having a nice time. And nowadays, and this is all amateur, all the amateur stuff. Even at driving schools, which are just car clubs, pay your $300 and come drive for a weekend. These guys are coming in, and this is no exaggeration, with 53-foot semi trailers. Okay, and yeah, that's just their shop. And these RVs that are just fucking huge. That basically have like 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, where the whole side of the thing pushes out another 5-6 feet beyond its normal width.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, the thing's the size of a tour bus.
and there's awnings and tents and porches, and it's like, Jesus Christ! No wonder amateurs haven't got a hope of hell of winning. Look at how much money's in this now.
Well, see, I studied those pop outs and slide outs, and that was kind of my idea for a tiny home that wouldn't be so tiny that it would be big enough for me to have a full shop in, because I could have the chassis from a 10 by 40 foot mobile home that I could build this thing on, but then with the slide outs, I could actually have the middle section be something like a 20 foot by 30 foot empty area in the center for a shop. Basically, the idea was this would be good for a tiny house because I could build it so that you could tow it down the road and then you could put it up and expand it. But once you pulled it out, I don't think you'd ever get the thing to collapse again. So it was never moving after that point.
Oh,
that sounds like a V10 turbo diesel job for towing.
I was figuring it was going to require at least a pickup truck with a fifth wheel.
Yeah, a fifth wheel would do the job. I saw this incredible home built fifth wheel. It was, the trailer was not a gigantic trailer. It was like for two people for an extended weekend, maybe a week's vacation or 2 weeks vacation. Not real, just a typical, small camping setup. The tow vehicle was a Volkswagen Bug, and they turned it into a fifth wheel. They actually took a pole and extended the pole from the roof to the floor, reinforced it correctly through both panel sections, and then up on top they had the standard fifth wheel connection with plate included. Then they built this trailer that it would follow. It followed the exact line of the car with maybe about 2 to 3 inches gap.
I have a video of that somewhere.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. It was something that they were trying to market this. It was something that they had planned to mass produce.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
So yeah, they had built, well, rumor is they had built 5 prototypes. Only one has ever been verified as actually being built. Well, but they did videos and they did demonstrations with this thing around the country because they were trying to.
Haven't seen it. They were able to take this thing, and the driver could crank the wheels all the way to one direction and basically turn, and the car could turn 100 or 360 degrees under the trailer fifth wheel. If you don't know what a fifth wheel is, that's the part that goes up and over and will attach to the middle of a tractor chassis, as opposed to a ball and socket for a trailer hitch. But the car could turn 360 degrees under this trailer, making the maneuverability just beyond anything you can imagine on a
crazy
vehicle ever. It was just so beautifully done.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've seen a lot of insane camper pickup truck or car combos that would just blow your mind. Ox put something up there.
Yeah, actually I had just pulled up the same video. I was about to put the link to it, but Ox got it first.
Can you play the video?
B should be able to play it and show it.
Oh, hold on. Do.
If I recall, the one I saw, it was yellow in paint scheme.
Yep, this is the same one then.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool the way the thing maneuvers.
Hey, Perp, we should get Junie to take both of our avatars and draw them into some kind of compromising position.
Kinky.
If you spend any time at all online, there's a pretty good chance you've seen this video. This video features a Volkswagen Beetle with a fifth wheel camp trailer that attaches to a hitch on the roof. The year was 1974. The company, International Travel Trailer Inc., and the car they decided to use for their promotional video, a Volkswagen Beetle.
And that's a 74 too. You can tell by the
Small car
windshield.
But it's hard to say.
This was filmed in '74, as a matter of fact.
The only evidence we have that this trailer ever existed is
Look at that.
I totally remember seeing this.
Prototype, or whether it was produced for the general public, the only thing that most people can agree on is that they have never seen one. Whether the company knew it or not at the time, the use of the VW Beetle as a tow rig was a stroke of genius. If there's one thing VW owners love more than their cars, it's period-correct accessories for their cars. And for some Volkswagen Beetle owners, this trailer is the holy grail of accessories. With features like a kitchenette, a bath and shower, and sleeping for 4, how would this thing not be a hit at the next club camp out? What you are about to see is the first documented discovery of one of these trailers. Proof that they were in fact produced and sold to the public. Earlier this week, while driving to my shop, I noticed a silhouette of what I thought was one of
Yeah, it's like a 10-minute video overall.
In an abandoned salvage.
Pretty cool, though.
Yeah, we don't need to watch the whole thing, but yeah, just seeing the car maneuver with it.
Interesting illustration of faulty memory. I swear, in my brain, the image was that the configuration of the arm of the trailer was, this tight line all the way down with the body. Obviously, that was incorrect, but that's what my brain was telling me.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that. Now, once I saw it, yes, I remember seeing that. The one I was talking about was something totally different. It was bizarre how it was made. It could pivot in the middle or something to make turns really tight or something like that. And it was different than that, but I guess it's pretty much the same general mechanical idea.
If you design the right, got the numbers right, there's no reason you couldn't do that with using something like a Subaru WRX or other smallish car.
I have seen it that apparently there's one that goes around the UK. I'm thinking it was based with a Volvo hatchback, but something like of that size. And I think it's more along the line of what B was saying about it being like a smooth line, like it's enclosed, that the trailer doesn't seem to pivot from the car. It just seems to be like it's a continuous body from it. But the trailer dollies down and the car does disconnect.
Yeah. The one question I had about it the first time I saw it, and now again that I see it, is okay, you can do this great 360-degree pivot, which is very cool. And if you know how hard it is to drive a trailer, like I can't drive a trailer to save my ass.
The shorter the trailer, the harder it is too.
The question is, how do you hook up the electrical in a 360-degree harness?
That's a good point.
I wonder if you could do that
from getting twisted.
I wonder if you could do that nowadays with Bluetooth.
Well, I'm sure you could do it now in a number of ways. I don't know how they would have done it in the 70s.
So let me ask you guys this: how do they have it set up for the sensors in the air? Like when people have those expensive cars and the air pumps the tire back up, how did they do it?
That's basically Bluetooth.
So what about the sensors and all that stuff?
I think that Bluetooth? For that one in the 70s, I don't think they could have done it. I think you would have had to disconnect the electrical cable in order to do that full turnaround.
Yeah,
because I don't see any way they could have done it without breaking the electrical wires.
Yeah, I agree. See, I've always wondered about stuff like that. Like, I've had ideas and I've gone, well, that won't work.
Even
The
before
fucking wires will
Bluetooth.
twist.
Well, even before Bluetooth, they could have had some like disc connectors, that would be like 2 discs pressing together that would allow it to do the full rotation.
Well,
but even those weren't available
true.
until around 2000.
Look at an airbag. An airbag has to have electrical connection all the way through, and now they have steering wheels with all the controls for the radio and other things right on the steering wheel. And those are just done with a basic disc with continuity pads and fingers that are spring loaded.
But even a steering wheel can't do a complete 360. It can only go like 3/4 around, and then it has to return back again.
No, it doesn't. No. Typical steering is 3.5 lock and lock.
I don't debate Jenny on car stuff.
Yeah.
I just know better.
Yep.
You're probably right, Jenny. Thank you. Thank you for the information.
I
don't know those things. It seems right in my head, though. It seems right in my head, so I would agree with that. Hello, Richard Madsen. You're coming in. I'm about to leave because I am done and I am tired and I have to be in bed in like 20 some odd minutes.
Little Dicky Madsen. Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that is not the proper nickname for Richard. Although Rich is, and we used to call him Rich because there's no K in his name, and there's definitely no D. So,
I never understood where you got
say
Dick
no.
from Richard.
Yeah, I know, right? People try to call him Rick, and he'd say no, it's Rich, because that's how you shorten my name. There's no K in my name.
But still, how do you get starting with a D? That's just spelling it backwards.
I don't have a fucking some straight cishet white guy came up with it, I'm sure.
Well, most of the time when things like that happen, I think it goes back to being Celtic or Gaelic. That just seems to be the pattern. When something that screwed up happens, it's try spelling it in Celtic.
Right. Jenny,
Celtic.
you see that?
Celtic. Remember when in basketball they were always called the Boston Celtics? And then as Riverdance and things like that got more popular in America, we started using the word Celtic, but they're spelled the same, and we still call the basketball guys Celtics.
Yeah, even when I was in the pagan community, there were constant arguments about how to pronounce it. So,
see, I'm the asshole. Be like, yeah, go Boston Celtics. Everybody's like, what? That's not how you say it. No, that's really how you say that word. And like, I'll just say it. I don't give a shit. It's like I lived by a place that was called Bellefontaine. The Bellefontaine. And it was Bellefontaine. And they'd say, no, it's Bellefontaine. I'm like, fountain is not even spelled. That's not even right. Bellefontaine. That's totally incorrect. Where is your fucking couth? But everybody had called it Bellefontaine, but it was really Bellefontaine. So there you go.
Well, it's by where Diana lives. Is people around there pronounce it Versailles.
It's Versailles.
Yeah,
right.
Versailles.
Yeah,
right?
Versailles. Yes. I've heard shit like that too. It drives me crazy. I always correct them all.
Well, I think that the explanation for a lot of the names in the Midwest is because it was an Englishman trying to spell out a Frenchman mispronouncing a native word.
Yes, that's absolutely correct, Purple. That's exactly what it was. It's true. Yes, Richard, it would be beautiful fountain. But if you're going to change one word into the English version, you should change both. Not call it Bell Fountain. Like pick one way or the other, man. No, but it's just like the typical Christian though. It's handed down, and everybody says it that way, and no one questions it.
At least they didn't pronounce it belly fountain.
Oh, right.
Well, the French have such bizarre spellings for things anyway. And Jenny is right at the seed of this. Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
They spell it with 3 vowels in a row and pronounce it with one that isn't there.
Yeah, an O when there's an A-U and E.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, don't
Absolutely.
blame Wisconsin, blame France for that.
And by the way, I want to point out just grammatically, to make it grammatically correct, if it was Bell Fountain, there'd be no E on the end of the word.
If somebody out there speaks French,
that automatically makes it.
If someone out there can speak French, you can help me with this. There in Wisconsin, there's a town called Prairie du Chien, Chein, or IEN. I don't remember which. Is that
I think that would be like Shane.
Prairie of cats.
Oh.
Would that be Duchesne or would that be Duchot?
It's pronounced Prairie du Chien.
No, when you get to show at the end, it's either going to have like a UEX or an OT.
Yeah.
Like my brother, our oldest brother, we didn't know about until 1998 because he was adopted out. His last name was Chabot, but it's spelled CH. Well, it is, but it's spelled CHABOT, and people will call him Mr. Chabot. And he'd go, no, Chabot, and then he just gave up. He said it all the time. So usually with the French, OT on the end is O, like Chabot.
Well, I was wondering about the translation. Does that translate to prairie of cats?
Somebody look that up. Who has time?
And then I'm trying to think of what kind of cats live in Wisconsin.
You know, I don't want to cut you guys off, but we could just keep going and going for hours, and I have to go to bed. So I'm gonna get off of here and kill this. You guys can stay in the basement and talk all night. I don't care.
I had to type one in the side chat because you need the spelling for it.
Oh.
This is what a guy actually named his dog.
That's great, though, Purple. That's really great.
I don't see it.
Yeah, you gotta bring it up on the screen for Jenny.
Sorry. There you go, Jenny.
Oh, Frank Zappa used to have his tour bus was white with a greyhound on it that looked like it was drugged and beat up with Band-Aids and stitches and stuff. And it was named PHY DEAUX, Fido.
Okay. Yep.
AUX. See? Yep. AUX. It's the UX. Also EUX. Yes. There you go. Richard Fido. PHIDEAUX. Yes. German version. All right. Anyways, we're going to pause there. You guys can continue that conversation in the back.
Wait a minute. I want to say one thing, and I want you to be here for it.
I've been waiting a minute. Go ahead.
Oh, shut up. This weekend on the Sunday before Memorial Day is my 30th anniversary.
Yes.
Happy anniversary
of my bottom surgery, and when I finally put the period at the end of the very long paragraph.
Yep.
Of my life, and that wait a minute, no, 30. No, I'm sorry, I'm miscounting. That was what my rounded off figure. It's 27. And that means that I have now lived female and fully female for longer than I was ever a boy.
Which is
good for you.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that.
It's nice to be you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice to be consistent.
Nice to be who you feel you are.
Yeah.
To the world.
I don't think Hallmark makes a card for that, but
no, I'm pretty sure they don't make one. You might be able to find one at Spencer's. I would look at Spencer's, everybody, if you want to get a card for Jenny.
But I'm glad to be here with all you folks. Thanks for friends.
Well, thank you.
My feeling on Jenny.
My feeling on transitioning is that it's wonderful this technology is available today because medical technology. I mean, because it makes it possible for people to live honestly who they feel they are.
Their true self. Yes.
I
agree. Last words, Purple.
Well, I'm kind of torn on this because it's between that. I think it would be a great holiday, but I hate to give it to Hallmark for them to cash in on another thing, but I think for people who have transitioned, you know, we should have Phoenix Day for when you switch genders and were reborn.
I like that. I really like that. That is great.
Well, the women, any women in chat who've had babies would understand. I think they should rename the surgery from bottom surgery to radical episiotomy.
Yes, I could agree with that too. All right. On that note, everybody in the chat that's left, thank you.
Okay, how many more times can we stall her?
I truly appreciate all of you. I love you guys. And thank you everybody on the panel for coming in. Thank you, everybody. I will kick you out. Thank you, everybody in the panel for coming in. You know, I appreciate you guys, and it's always a good conversation, guy and girls. And take care of yourselves. Take care of one another.
Okay, everybody, we